Rounded around while we're dancing, my heart makes us glad that we're living today. Each time I feel like romancing, my heart always goes tick-a-tee, tick-a-tee. Rounded around while we're dancing, my heart makes us glad that we're living today. Each time I feel like romancing, my heart always goes tick-a-tee, tick-a-tee.
Hello and welcome to another episode of The Grindbin. I'm Mike Wood.
I'm Chris Mann.
I'm Christopher Hughes.
Today we're going to be talking about 1974's Massacre Mafia style.
Hey, Giuseppino, open my business, eh?
Hey, Bobby, I got the money.
Yeah, I made the tea. But you're a hooker.
Get that goddamn thing out of your mouth.
Spooky got no real culture.
Hello, pizza man.
We're gonna play a little game, baby.
I just love fun and games. Get a little girl all hot and horny.
This is Los Angeles.
You could have looked decent once in a while. And maybe Daddy wouldn't have had to kill himself because he couldn't get it up anymore.
What a shame.
Come on, just step on the gas before we get creepy.
So we have the two Chris's back for quite a special episode. Hey, it's Easter! It's Easter! We're doing an
it's a
Easter
family
movie,
event.
are we not? A couple weeks late, but inadvertently, this movie certainly celebrates Easter in a new and interesting way that we never thought possible.
What, with a crucifixion?
And as it said in the movie, let them have a resurrection, eh?
Love it.
Vavoom.
So this movie, as we've said before, the Grindbin can be bought, and it is very true because this movie is brought to you by our very good donor, Sean Thompson over at looserounds.com. Sean donates to this show almost monthly, believe it or not. Pretty much monthly, actually. Sean keeps the podcast going.
He's pretty much adopted us.
Yeah,
in his
so
own way.
as I've said, the Grindbin can be bought.
Yep.
And this is Sean's pick. So thank you, Sean.
Thank you, Sean.
And my God, is this a great pick. Now, I have never seen this movie before. It is quite the cult classic. And it is amazing. Like, it's, let's just say, it's one of those auteur movies. And those always seem to be the best with bad auteur movies. Now, you have the good ones, like, we got P.T. Anderson making, Boogie Nights, There Will Be Blood type stuff. And then we got our John Rads of the world.
Our Steve Nikitas.
Our Joel Wynkoop.
Joel Wynkoop.
His Lost Faith movie. He's currently making Lost Faith 2. Again, Chris and I are available to get our asses kicked in that movie. Joel, please call us up.
I am lobbying hard.
Yeah, we'd love to get you on this podcast
I will book
one day,
my
Joel.
own flight, please.
Yeah, I'll fly to Orlando. There's no other reason to go. Well, actually, wait, that's where all the parks are. So, Chris, you were in Orlando. You could have.
Yeah, like 2 years ago. No, I wasn't going to visit Joel Wynkoop. I'm going to Disney World.
We watched Lost Faith. You know that the Orlando PD is just in a strip mall. Find him down there solving another crime, finding his lost wife for the 50th time.
To top it all off, my wife is missing.
But Duke Mitchell, the man who wrote, directed, and starred in this movie, is another auteur. And boy, are we glad that he made this movie. And he has a really interesting background. Now, this is the part where I typically say, let's take a listen to the trailer. However, the trailer is just music, so we will not be listening to the trailer because really there's no point in just playing you a song that we've already played for you in the beginning of this episode, and we'll probably end it with this song as well. But the trailer is very good, so if you want to go online, it is on YouTube. Although it's sometimes called The Executioner. But we'll get into why this movie has literally 3 or 4 different names, which it's hard to find because, as you said, you found one and it wasn't called Massacre Mafia style.
It was called Like Father, Like Son.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was the end credits too. It was saying,
And there's another one called The Executioner. Well, we'll get into why there's so many different names for this movie. But we would like to say before we get into it that this movie is incredibly racist. Now,
Just a little.
it is something we gotta mention because, oh my God.
It's unabashed. It's almost, you kind of squirm a bit.
Yeah, it's a real head scratcher. This one. That obviously they thought everybody was on their side, I guess. But I mean, there's some parts where you're like, "Am I watching a movie or a Klan rally?" I'm not sure.
Who knew the Italians were so racist?
It's the old. Oh, we're so persecuted. But goddamn, it's every other minority group's fault, you know?
Right.
Except, boy, goddamn, is it hard to be Sicilian. Am I right? So let's get into the background of this movie. Director, writer, star, as I mentioned, Duke Mitchell.
There's always an interesting background with people like this.
Oh, this one is definitely interesting.
Yeah.
And you've actually, even though you've never seen this movie, you guys have both been aware of Duke's work.
Aha.
This is what they describe him on his IMDb profile, or I'm sorry, his Wikipedia entry. Duke Mitchell was an American film actor, slapstick comedian, crooner, and independent film director of 1970s gangster movies starring himself. Mitchell often performed his nightclub act in and around Palm Springs, California, and anointed himself the King of Palm Springs. So at one point, he was the king out there in Palm Springs. So he's
like the Sinatra of Palm Desert, or what?
Oh, it's interesting you mentioned Sinatra. He'll come back.
Oh, there we go.
So he went on to star in a movie with his comedy partner, Sammy Petrillo, in a movie called Bela Lugosi Meets a Brooklyn Gorilla in 1952.
That's what it's called?
That is a real movie. Bela Lugosi Meets a Brooklyn Gorilla.
I can only imagine what the gorilla is a euphemism for.
It's about Duke and his comedy partner when they were a slapstick act, going to a tropical island where Bela Lugosi's a mad scientist who, I don't know. That's it. There's barely any information about it. It's a real pile. I mean, a real pile of shit. But in the 60s, he provided the singing voice of Fred Flintstone on the Flintstones.
This guy gets around. Jesus.
So this guy from this movie was whenever Fred Flintstone would sing, Duke was good friends with the guys over at Hanna-Barbera, and they're like, hey, Duke, why don't you come in lend some of that crooning, eh?
Oh, can you imagine the back room talk that they would have with this guy? Just imagine how racist Hanna-Barbera is.
What do you think, Magilla Gorilla?
Huckleberry Hound.
Oh, God.
Foghorn Leghorn.
In the 1970s, Duke decided to make his own gangster movie in response to The Godfather, which he was highly inspired by.
No, surprise, surprise.
Oh, they didn't make a reference to that in the movie, did they?
Oh, my God. The first, 15 minutes of this movie is just... Like they're all, well, we can't exactly do what The Godfather did, you know, but we can make reference, right? Like we can still have a baptism. Duke took many of the events in this film, though, from real life stories he heard from mob buddies while performing stage shows. He sold the lease on his supper club to raise funding for this film, and it was distributed under multiple names, including The Executioner, Massacre Mafia Style, and Like Father, Like Son. However, Massacre Mafia Style was Mitchell's preference, so that's why we are calling it Massacre Mafia Style.
Well, that original artwork that they have with the devil horns, I'm like, that was a rock star
kick-ass
poster.
Yeah.
Like Father, Like Son,
Yeah,
1980s buddy comedy.
It
doesn't fit.
Like Father, Like Son makes sense.
It makes a lot more sense than this, because when we said Massacre Mafia Style, I'm like, maybe there's more massacre movies, like Massacre some other style, Kung Fu style,
right?
Massacre whatever,
right?
No, just this.
No, just Massacre Mafia Style.
Massacre Doggy Style, Massacre Mafia Style. I said this is almost like Father, Like Son. It's like over the top. I thought this was gonna be like a Stallone movie if you called it Like Father, Like Son.
Yeah. It would make sense on multiple levels, though, considering there's 3 generations of characters in this movie, and they're all called Mimi for some reason.
There's Mimi,
Mimi,
Mini Mimi, She Mimi,
Mimi. A distribution deal for the film allowed it a European release. However, the deal also stated the film could not be shown in North America at all for 6 years.
6 years? Whoa. What the hell's going? Why?
And the distributor changed the film's title to The Executioner. So it wasn't, that had nothing to do with him whatsoever. That was the European distributor.
So this wasn't released until 1980.
No, it was developed a cult following upon its release to VHS in the 1980s, and eventually it got a theatrical run in grindhouse theaters during the 80s.
Hell yeah.
Duke Mitchell made a follow-up film to this movie called Gone with the Pope. He died before it was edited, but recently the rights were purchased and it has been released as of 2011. They found this movie literally in his garage after he died. Somebody had been clearing it out and was like, "Oh, what the fuck?" And
literally,
there's a whole other movie in there. Now, the premise to Gone with the Pope is one of the greatest premises I've ever heard for a movie.
Are there Nazis in it?
No. It is about Duke kidnapping the Pope, and then he decides for ransom he's going to charge every Catholic in the world $1 to get the Pope back. And apparently that is the premise of the movie.
Because the Catholic Church has no money to pay him just directly. He has to take the Pope and then charge all Catholics.
He's got to guilt them into it, too.
How do you think he does it? Do you think everybody, there's like a big collection plate at every church? You know, they're like, come on, everybody. Come on.
Wait, do we have any theories on how he stole the Pope? Because did he carjack him?
That Pope-mobile got carjacked?
He stole the Pope. Well, if it's anything like this movie, he probably walked into a room and he was like, "Hey, a Pope, let's go, huh?" And he's like, "Oh, how'd you get in here?" Yeah.
Don't make me nail you. Hey!
Do you think at any point he tries on his hat? He's got it, right?
Oh, I would. You're kidding me?
I think he does a scene from where the
Silence of the Lambs?
Silence of the Lambs, where the guy tucks his penis and he wears the skin. This guy's in the Pope and he's doing. I'd fuck me.
He wears the Pope hat around and dances naked in front of him. Well, Goodbye Horses plays, but it's Duke's version of it, so he's singing it over the credits. So most of the people in this movie, so we're going to get in the rest of the cast, most of the people in the movie obviously didn't do anything else.
No,
they were just like Duke's friends. Because some of the performances in this movie are Dangerous Men level bad.
Yeah.
Dangerous Men is another movie we covered. Also, Miami Connection, by the way, is another one of those great auteur offerings. Yeah, the performances of some people in this movie are on the level of Miami Connection or Dangerous Men. Yeah. They are literally that bad.
That of a family favor, if you will.
Like, people just kind of look blankly into the air and they're like, "I'm trying to remember every line that you told me to say, Duke. Am I doing all right?"
Yeah, they're all 90-year-old women. They can't remember these lines.
They can't even look him in the eye. They're just like, "Mimi, you come into my house, you kill my family."
And it's terrible because they have to deliver these lines after this monologue he delivers, which is just like groundbreaking.
The amount of monologues in this movie is insane.
And they don't cut either. It's one take, and then the only time we cut is go to the other actor who has a blank face, like has no training whatsoever in acting.
Yeah.
And it's like, "Mimi, I know exactly what you are talking about. What time is lunch?"
Yeah, I would say that this movie has monologues or I would say like political campaign speeches.
Oh, God, yeah.
Like, I feel like he thought people were going to be standing up in the theaters like, "Yeah, you tell him, Duke, you tell him."
Yeah.
I don't think it worked out that way, though.
Burning crosses outside the theater.
Yeah, there were angry mobs after every screening. They're like, "Let's find us a pimp, huh?" However, I will mention a couple people and some interesting careers they had. Now, Louis Zito, who played Chucky, or as I call him, Kidnapped Man with one missing finger.
Yeah.
Very Italian.
Yeah, he has 18 credits on IMDb for acting. And Grindbin All-Star.
Really?
He made an appearance in Savage Streets.
No.
As Vince's dad.
Really?
Yes. In that one scene where Linda goes over to his house and she's like, "It's a school night. Is Vince home?"
Yeah.
Like, when she's dressed up in her leather onesie.
Yeah. The best scene in that movie.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He's in that.
Yeah, he made a brief appearance in
Mind
Savage
blown.
Streets. Now, the only other person I have written down is Kara Peters, who plays Liz, or the Guma.
She had a name in this movie. I never heard him.
Liz, yeah, no, he said it a couple times. She has 11 credits, mostly for nude scenes in movies. 1967, Good Morning and Goodbye, which is a Russ Meyer movie. 1968, a movie called New Django. It is not a Django movie with Franco Nero in it. It's just using that name. The original name of that movie, however, is Brand of Shame. And then let me explain to you why it is that. Here's the description of the movie. A school teacher arrives in town with the map to a gold mine. A lesbian dance hall owner schemes to steal the map. That's the only description of the movie.
This whole thing hinges on a parking spot.
Yeah.
However, there is a scene in the movie, and I read this from an IMDb review, where a woman takes about 40 lashings from a whip 40. And he said that people were literally yelling enough during the screening. And it's all played out in real time. And I believe it's her who takes the lashing. So that's an interesting one. 1968, she's in a movie called Space Thing, where she credits herself as Legs Benedict. So obviously you can tell what this movie is like. It's about a lesbian space alien crew trying to take over the Earth. And of course, the only way to stop them, well, a man's got to fuck them.
You gotta fuck them.
1971, Up Your Alley, but not the Up Your Alley written and directed by our boy Murray Langston with the bag over his head.
Yeah.
No, this is a movie about a nerdy virgin who spends most of his waking hours dreaming about big, busted, naked women, gets a job catering at a film festival party that is chock full of his, quote, dream girls. Unfortunately, he finds himself involved in a mafia jewel smuggling plot and must impersonate a mafia don who he has inadvertently caused to die of a heart attack. That has got to be the most complicated premise for a guy trying to... Boy, did they make pornos
Whatever
really
happened
confusing
to
in 1971.
You slam the ham and you get up and leave. Like, whatever happened to just sit down?
Chris, obviously this guy had a vision. He's like, he goes up to the office. He's like, I got this great jewel heist movie about this guy, and he, this mafia don. He has to impersonate him. And he's like, yeah, but can you, well, that sounds great and all, but we got another movie. Actually, we have a film festival with a lot of busty broads. Can you somehow fit that into the story? Sure. This movie we're covering, though, was her last credited film. So maybe that shower scene might have been her last moments on Earth. I don't know. Wow. I don't know what happened to her. So
she choked on something. Jesus.
Duke's like, wait, we didn't really hang her, did we? Whoa. So here's some trivia before we start the movie.
Yes.
Duke offered Frank Sinatra a role in this movie.
Of course he did.
However, Frank's response was to laugh at him and said, Duke, I love you, but I get paid real money to do real movies. So, I mean, could you imagine if Frank Sinatra was in this?
He would have been at the wedding, I think. He would have been the wedding singer.
Oh, yeah.
He's so
singing the same song.
You think he handed him the song? He's like, yeah, can you sing this, Frank? And Duke... Look, I love coming out to Palm Springs for a weekend, and seeing you. It's fine, I like the free drinks, but come on. Let's be real here. I don't play Fred Flintstone on TV, Duke. Part-time. So, according to the documentary Like Father, Like Son from 2009, Duke Mitchell actually plugged crippled stage manager Maurice Duke's wheelchair into an outlet and then put his foot in a urinal because he was mad at him. And that inspired the opening scene.
Wow. Oh, my God.
So Duke was a real nice guy. In order to get extras for the wedding scene, Duke sent out real wedding invitations. Most of the people there thought they were going to a real wedding.
Yes.
He then sold the wedding presents bought by the guests in order to have more funding.
Genius. This guy's
great
genius.
Shit. Oh, my God.
I know how we can fund our movies.
Yes. There's going to be 3 weddings in this film that we're writing.
Can you imagine all these people get dressed up? They're going out and they're like, oh, yeah, go to this wedding. And Duke's like, all right, everybody.
It's perfect. You have the guy with the camera going around. It makes sense. You get footage.
Don't look in the lens. No special messages to the bride and groom. Just pretend like we're going to film this real voyeur style. You know what I mean? Just
style. How many toasters do you think arrived that day?
You think he was going around? He's like, really? A toaster? Huh? You saw the registry. It said cash.
Egyptian cotton duvet.
The Pimp Crucified on Easter was based on a real incident that happened in Las Vegas in the late 1960s. So that's an interesting fact.
I believe it.
And the music track for Tick-a-Tay in the opening scene. You're just dying over here.
I had the subtitles on.
Yeah.
And I was reading every word of that. And it's just...
In the opening scene was originally recorded in the early 1960s for the novelty song Buzzy the Christmas Bee, for which Duke Mitchell wrote the lyrics and his 10-year-old son Jeff recorded.
It's a perfect song to put over what he was showing on the screen. A 10-year-old Christmas song.
Yeah.
Tick-a-Tay was originally a very popular Italian song in the 1920s. So there you go.
Huh.
So, guys, we can get into the movie. Is there anything else you want to clear out before we start this masterpiece?
Spoiler alert, I love this movie. I cannot wait to get into it. I cannot wait to see Gone with the Pope.
I know.
This is my new classic.
Yeah. Oh, just so you know, Gone with the Pope will be a future Grindbin
Thank
episode.
God.
There is no way we cannot watch that.
So
and there is a 2009 documentary about this movie.
Yeah, it's called Like Father, Like Son, apparently.
All right.
We'll be watching that too.
There might be a mini bin about that one.
So is this movie out on Blu-ray at all with special features?
Yes, this movie does have a
Alright.
Blu-ray, by the way.
Right.
It was re-released. I don't know who has the rights now, but they also released Gone with the Pope. They're the ones who edited it.
has
So
to
that
be
movie
Alamo
was
or
not
something,
edited.
right?
Okay, so it was the people that edited it. They obviously had to go by the original script and all the other, obviously.
I think they pieced together whatever they could
Wow.
from what they saw.
Can you imagine
Can you imagine the sets?
the set
Oh
pieces
my
of that movie?
Do you what do you think? Well, I don't know, Hughes. There's so much stolen footage in this movie. Like, hey, let me tell you something. There's no fucking way in hell they got the Hollywood Bowl for this movie, and
No.
we know damn well
No.
what they did, or a church for that matter. Like, can you think that they ran in with a backpack and a film camera just sticking out of it into the Vatican at some point? Do you think there's any part in Gone with the Pope, where maybe they just filmed again voyeur style of Duke walking up to the Pope or something that he like kind of hugs him? I wouldn't be surprised.
And then the camera just dips down. You see feet running, scurrying down.
You're right. I'm so interested now in how he kidnaps that Pope.
Oh my God.
Well, we're definitely gonna watch it. So, okay,
Good
guys,
to
let's
know.
get to the movie.
Good to know.
So we start, Hughes. Now you commented to me that the first 2 minutes of this movie are just some of your favorite 2 minutes in any movie.
This movie starts right away.
Yeah.
Elevator opens.
Yeah.
Two people introduce themselves, turning out to be two main characters for most of the movie. And
Mimi and Jolly.
Mimi and Jolly talking to the secretary. And that's where we get our first afro of the movie. There's going to be many more. Not all black, like a lot of other white people have the afros.
Yeah, they got the Italian afro, or they have a lot of comments about people being Jewish, which is very odd. Like,
That's
he
not-
goes
no-
on and on and on about
Yeah.
how some guy's Jewish and how he's laughing about it or something.
So they introduce themselves. They say they're here to see Mr. Lowenstein. And we cut to Mr. Lowenstein. And it's a guy in a wheelchair sitting behind a desk. That's all we know.
Yeah.
They enter the office, and the first line is, Mimi, what the fuck you want me to do?
Like, at this point, you're enjoying what's happening, but you're
Yeah.
like, what the fuck
Yeah.
is going on?
Because that's how I start
And-
every job interview.
Also, there's Mimi, what the fuck is going on? And then, okay, did you notice though? They tie this wheelchair man up, right?
Yeah.
And
Like
then
he was going to run away.
There's obviously like so.
He's going to run
Yeah, tie him up.
It's like putting like a black bag over a blind guy's head.
And why they go to this much trouble for this wheelchair guy when they'll just go guns blazing for the rest of the movie?
Yeah.
I don't
They're
understand.
making a statement. It's the symbolism.
Who's gonna find them, Chris? At this point, the
night
cops are gonna
shift.
see whatever happens in the next scene, and they're
Yeah.
gonna be so confused. It's like, does that even work?
Yeah.
Because I'm not sure this would actually work. But
Well, you have to be peeing on him while you connect it, or else there's no. You have to be grounded.
so okay, well, let's see what happens. So they tie him up, and then Duke he goes behind the desk and gets something you can't see.
No,
like you're
just-
so confused.
You think he just knocked over a lamp.
On accident.
On
it looks
accident.
like it was a
Yeah.
pure accident because the lamp falls over and he's like, oh, fuck.
He's
And
like, shit, I got to return that later.
Yeah. That was a gift to my wedding guest.
Yeah, that was one of the wedding gifts. We see he's trying to grab something off camera, but apparently he cut the cord to the lamp, okay?
Yeah.
Then we go to this bathroom and they wheel the wheelchair man into the bathroom and then they put his foot in the urinal and then plug in the cord.
Yeah.
With the most perfectly placed plug right
Yeah,
above
that's
the
weird,
urinal.
that's why I
Find
said-
plugs in a bathroom like that.
Thank you. That's what I said. I was
Yeah.
like, why would there be an electric plug inches from a urinal? You're just asking for trouble.
Yeah.
Unless it's like, well, in case we want to, a little.
Shave and pee.
Yeah.
The man on the go, who has to go.
But yeah, there's a plug, no mirror or anything, just a plug.
A plug right next to the flush. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
And the funny thing is, I don't think they had the money to build a set or anything.
No,
so
this
they,
is-
they have a bathroom with a plug right above the
Yeah.
urinal. And it totally worked for this scene.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there was obviously some, quote, union guy they knew who would install a plug wherever they needed
Jesus.
to. So then we get the credits and that amazing song.
Oh God.
The Ticketay song, right?
Ticketay starts.
Well, the
Oh,
opening,
my God.
Well, the credits cards themselves are amazing.
Yeah.
The Irish flag?
I would say this is like very Quentin Tarantino.
Thank you.
Like,
Okay, I was gonna say this
very,
reminded me
very
of like
Quentin
this,
Tarantino.
he lifted this directly just for Pulp Fiction, I believe, in the beginning when Jules and Sammy J and Travolta are walking through. This is directly.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
It does seem like it, right?
Yeah.
So then we get so Mimi and Jolly, they go around and basically they're just gonna murder everybody in this entire building. They start with the secretary just for fun, I guess, is what I read at this point, because they just kind of walk and they're like, "Oh yeah, bye," and then they shoot her in the head. Great reaction shot, by the way, because you never see anybody. Well, you do see there is squib work in this movie. You definitely see bullets getting. Like people getting shot,
Right?
But sometimes it will just be somebody with like a little bit of trickle of blood on them, and then they're just like, eh.
They kind of lean and kind of slide slowly.
Then they walk down a hall, they open a door to an office building, and they just start shooting every single person in there. And at this point, I'm very confused, and I'm like, hold on. Did they just go to like pimp headquarters or something?
Yeah, what is this?
No, I didn't assume they were pimps. I just thought they were well-dressed
Okay.
businessmen.
There
For
you
some
go.
reason, they start shooting a lot of black people, okay? And they're all dressed like Superfly, okay? Or Dolomite.
I was gonna say this movie has the wardrobe of Dolomite.
Yeah.
For everybody.
They're all dressed like Dolomite, and I'm like, okay, either they're shooting pimps or they're just like, they all dressed like that. I was like, whatever the case, it's very suspicious that they get into movies like, why are they only killing black people?
Well, then right after they killed the black people in that room, it looks like they just go to the next office and there's a white man holding like a gin and tonic. Like, he gets shot in the chest.
He had to have been Jewish then.
Yeah, come on, Chris. They only kill, quote, pimps and like money changers or whatever they call them,
And the
money
Greeks.
lenders, bookies or something. Yeah. Then so yeah, I think you can
Indeed.
infer what they're talking about.
Yeah.
So yeah, they do shoot that guy with the drink. Great reaction shot, by the way. He's like, whoa, like doubled over, Oh, I do like. So then. By the way, it's also very weird that nobody's running because there's gunshots going off.
Everyone just kind of stands around and
yeah,
shocked.
they're just going about their business like it's no big deal. Like,
Yeah.
just another day in Hollywood.
Yeah, right.
So then Jolly shoots a guy peeing in a urinal.
Yeah, they're going to clear every bathroom and every office in this whole building and just kill everybody.
But it's so good because Duke just kind of stands there, right? Mimi just stands there. And then Jolly walks in the bathroom and kind of slowly just points his gun at some guy while he's still taking a piss.
Yeah.
Shoots him. And then he falls. He kind of
Into
like crumples in.
And like face first into the bottom of a urinal. Like,
Yeah, I was like, ooh, eating urinal cake.
Yeah.
Like, eee.
Like, let's wait for the guy to shake and then shoot him.
I know. I was like, he couldn't even finish his piss before he died.
No.
Then they shoot a random guy in the hall who looks very confused.
The Asian guy.
Yeah, he looks very
The
confused.
only Asian in the movie.
Yeah.
Like, he walks out of a door and he's like, wait, what? Or is this a movie?
Yeah.
And then,
Then two white guys outside of a room.
okay, having a business meeting in
the hallway.
In the hallway. Like, one guy's carrying holding a briefcase. Again, just standing. Like, they haven't heard any gunshots or anything. Like, it just must be that pimp office,
But then the next guy that they come to is the Italian guy. And then before they kill him,
God.
before they kill him, they both do the cross.
Well, they make him get on his knees.
They make him get on his knees, and then he does the cross, like, pray to your
That's
God.
the sign of the cross.
And he's like, I understand. I'm
Yeah.
Italian. I get it. and he gets shot. He's done.
He's the only guy they show some respect to, which is so pathetic. Yeah, we hate doing this too. But then, okay, well, they kill one more guy, right?
Yeah.
They kill the janitor.
The elevator janitor. Elevator opens, shoot the janitor, pull him out, watch the whole thing of them dragging him, and then quickly run into the elevator like it was going to close on them.
Yeah.
They're like, we're not taking the stairs.
Then they also looked very confused at the elevator for a second. It's almost like they're like, wait, what floor? Wait, did we park on B1 or
Yeah.
B2? Do you remember? And then for no reason, okay, this is really odd, right? So some black kid gets on the elevator, and then Mimi just starts like cupping his face.
Yeah,
a
like
whole
face-
bunch,
like
and,
face holding and-
rubbing his shoulders.
Yeah.
And like Jolly's like rubbing Mimi's
Well, I
shoulders.
think maybe Jolly is trying to like ease Mimi back from doing something drastic because he's kind of like hold back there, buddy. Like hold.
This is
you
a
know.
kid. We're not going to kill a
Yeah.
kid.
Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
what the fuck
Because
is
he's
going
probably
on?
like, what, 10
At least.
years old?
Yeah.
And they're rubbing his shoulders and like smacking his face like the Italians would, and like, you're a good kid.
Yeah, but his hands are all over his face, like in a
Yeah.
very uncomfortable way. He's like
Yeah.
rubbing his face. Like,
Well, that's what
"Eh,
Mimi's
eh."
into. He does it to everybody.
Hey, I know you were black, but I like it this anyway, kind of thing.
So then we go to a baptism, right? And I
Right.
write, just like The Godfather, we have a baptism scene.
course.
Only this time the killing took place before and not during the baptism, and they didn't kill Mo Green. They basically just, obviously this is supposed to be a callback to The Godfather, is what I saw it
Obviously,
as.
yeah, me too.
But then this is also the worst baptism scene I've ever seen because they obviously couldn't get a full church full of extras. So it's just 3 people, like Mimi, his wife, which I can't wait to.
I can't wait for this voiceover that you're
Yeah,
doing.
his
God,
dad,
yes.
a baby, and a priest, right? In a room where they just, obviously some random office where they just brought a baptism thing in.
Pedestal, whatever you want to call
pedestal. And we hear voiceover from Mimi about the baptism, right? We learn that it's his kid, and he's standing next to his wife, and then he goes, "She died 2 years later of incurable cancer." And I write, what a great way to introduce a character. At this point, you don't realize that's a wrap on the wife. You'll never see or hear from her again. She's gone. And then we also get introduced to his father, who's Don Mimi, who I just called Don. Right?
Yeah,
The
you
Don.
have to because there's 3 Mimis.
And we there's 3 Mimis in this movie, and we learn that he's the leader of this mafia family, right?
Yeah.
And he's been exiled.
Yeah, he's exiled to Sicily.
Yeah.
So I guess at this point they're in Sicily.
They are in Sicily right now. He says that they were kicked out because they didn't want to follow the U.S. laws because they're Sicilian.
Okay.
And U.S. laws shouldn't matter because they're from Sicily. And then he gets
Like,
kicked out.
we don't like how they treat murders in the U.S. You know what I mean?
So he basically gets deported. That's all this whole scene is about. His dad was deported and he's growing up in Sicily. That's
Done.
And you seems like, obviously Mimi's character, if he were to be caught by the American police, he'd be like, what are you talking about? It's just a bunch of pips and money changes. You know what I mean? I'm just like Jesus here, right? I thought I was doing y'all a favor. Boy, this country, I'll tell you what. So Mimi and the Don with their kid, all right. And then this is where you go like, well, I guess the wife is long dead at this point.
Oh, yes.
From, quote, incurable cancer.
great line. I have that incurable.
Could have had her, actually could have been like whacked or something, but it had to be incurable cancer.
Well, heck, it just couldn't be she died of cancer. I mean, if
When
if she could succumb to
incurable
cancer, it was not curable.
Right.
Chris, incurable.
Incurable
Which is
cancer.
kind of ironic because Duke ended up dying of incurable lung cancer a couple years later.
She was hit by an unstoppable car.
Do you ever think that's in an obituary? She was hit by an unstoppable car. Chris, that might be one of the best I've ever heard. So we have Mimi, the Don, and the kid. Okay, so now the kid is apparently 6. Remember that, by the way.
Okay.
He says he's 6, okay?
We're doing math in this movie, so I wasn't the only one.
He says he's 6, all right?
Yeah.
And then we'll get another comment later about how long he's going to be gone, and I go,
Yeah.
The entire time of this movie is 60 years, but the grandfather never ages.
Yeah. He's still alive. He must be fuck.
If they're from those Blue Islands, he must be like 120. They live forever.
It's the olive oil, you know what I mean?
Yeah, oh yeah.
The olive oil diet.
That Mediterranean diet. Oh boy.
And then I write, well, why did we need that baptism scene again? Because it literally did nothing. It's like, you see this lady? Remember her face because you'll never see or hear from her again.
It's just a Godfather move. It's just there for the formality.
This movie is only an hour and 19 minutes. It needed the runtime.
It did. It really did.
Like, they were looking on the cutting room floors like, is there anything else we can add into this thing?
Yeah.
Can we add more Jolly playing with his dog in a yard?
Oh, God. That dog. It was that fucking dog. Animal control might have been needed to be called at some point because that dog was being abused.
It was, there's a part where they serve up like sweet and sour dog. Kung Pao dog is on the table, rolled in.
This dog gets the worst of it. Like, out of anybody in this movie, the dog gets the worst of it on multiple levels.
Yeah.
Comes in its own coffin.
There was a dog coughing in that one scene. Mimi tells his dad, he's like, well, I'm going to go to America. And I kind of just want to go there to kill pimps and bookmakers. That's what it is, bookmakers, okay?
I don't think he wants to kill
AKA Jewish people is what he means by bookmakers, obviously,
right.
which is
I thought
his,
he was talking,
his code word.
I did not get that. So I thought he wanted to take over the business.
I thought that too.
He wants to take the money from the
He wants
pimps.
a piece.
Yeah, he wants a piece. And the bookmakers, I thought he was talking about bookies, like off the books bookies, not not money changers and like banks.
No, he was.
Did I miss a part of the movie?
Well, it just so happens to be that every bookmaker happens to be Jewish, apparently, or some Greek guy at some point. Wait, that description's very flimsy. But basically, I guess Duke was like, well, we can't be too racist. They tell me I can only use the N-word a total of 50 times in a movie, so I might as well use the word pimps, but everybody knows what I'm talking about.
Don't worry, if you don't, they reiterate it multiple times.
Oh, yeah, if you don't think there's a scene in this movie where an Italian man calls a black man the N-word about 15 times to his face.
Oh, my God.
Just wait.
You think he was like, wait, we were rolling?
You brought the camera? I didn't hear cut or action.
I don't know. I didn't even see a call sheet.
So, okay, he says he wants to kill pimps and bookmakers and leave the law alone. And I write, except by killing people, the law will be very interested, maybe. I'm like, it's not Gotham. You can't just go Batman your way around town. Like, it just doesn't work that way.
And this is where you get a sense of the Don being very like founded, and he understands how the crime works. Yeah. He's like, no, listen, you can't buy the police in LA. And I'm like, what? We have the Rampart Division.
It's like, no, you can. It's 1970. Oh, no, trust me, they're for sale. You may not even need a lot of money. Don't worry.
But Mimi is determined, and he just wants to go to LA, which is just really weird. Not Vegas, not New York,
of all places,
just LA.
Yeah,
you know the crime family's in L.A., or that's just kind of where I live, and it's the easiest place to film a movie, and also pretend like it's Italy when I need to, you know, because
we can show a little Tivoli garden in downtown L.A. and make it Sicily.
You know, if there's one thing about Southern California, it's a lot like Tuscany in terms of the climate, so, you know, doubles.
Yeah.
So Mimi tells his son that he's going to go to L.A., right? And he's like, yeah, I'm going to go where they make all the movies. And I'm going to bring you back a bunch of toys.
Now, these accents you're doing today, that's how the movie is. It sounds like a fake Italian accent the entire movie.
Yeah.
Just want to call it out because it sounds like you're also doing
Well,
your
I
voices.
am Italian.
Mike is Italian, so everyone knows.
And let me tell you, I do put on that accent when I go out on town, Hughes.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah. When I go into bars, I'm like, give me a beer.
I was there with them.
I always add extra vowels to things, you know?
He gets us like free paninis at Gisolino's. It's great.
Panini. So then Mimi leaves, right? And I write, wait, where the fuck? I was trying to figure out, were they in Sicily? Yeah. I didn't understand at this point.
Well, they were but there was a weird scene where he's kissing his son goodbye, and it's like ultra close up. I didn't get it. It was just weird.
Because they filmed the eyes, right? Because they obviously didn't record audio, so he just voice over all that shit. Because then, like, you just hear him give this another monologue to his son. Maybe they couldn't get the kid to sit still for 5 minutes, and Duke's just fucking slapping him around and just be like, fine, just film his eyes.
Cupping his face and trying to sweet talk him.
God, there's so much face cupping in this movie.
So we go to L.A. I love this. Mimi, immediately he's in L.A. Where does everybody go when they first go to L.A.? It's either Hollywood Boulevard or the Hollywood Bowl, baby.
The most inaccessible sidewalk ever. Like, that's the one where you're getting off the freeway and you see everybody cleaning themselves in the fountain.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't even know where to park to walk there.
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, Highland is like the worst fucking street in existence. Mm-hmm. Chris and I had to go to an interview on Highland, like for this podcast, actually. Yeah. And it took us 45 minutes from the exit of the freeway to go 2 blocks. So fuck that street. It's never, you're right.
I've never walked on that street ever.
No.
Wipe it from the fucking map right now. I don't care.
And then it goes to your second favorite LA street.
Hollywood Boulevard. Hollywood Bowl, Hollywood Boulevard. Yeah, because he's walking down. He sees all the stars on the street. By the way, all of this is stolen footage because there is no way in hell the Hollywood Bowl would let this man film a movie there. They've barely let anybody film a movie in the Hollywood Bowl, by the way. If you go into the museum they have there was only 2 movies ever filmed in the Hollywood Bowl. Hey, guess which one wasn't mentioned? They probably aren't even aware that this existed, and if they did know about it, they would be fucking enraged, especially at the second scene.
Yeah, that comes after it on Easter, yeah.
Also, this one, because he walks by the Hollywood Bowl and he tosses a cigarette into that fountain. And like you say, it really doesn't matter because there's homeless people cleaning themselves in it all the time.
It's just full of poop.
and cigarette butts, right? And so yeah, we see Mimi just kind of walking around L.A. Lots of stolen footage. Like
He's walking into like every bar in LA, stolen footage.
Okay, when he walks into that restaurant, the shot is obviously a guy sitting at the table, just kind of like holding the camera real low as Duke just kind of walks through this restaurant, and he's just kind of looking around a little bit, and then he walks off. There's no fucking way they had permits for any of this. No. These people have no idea that a movie is being filmed. There's no lights or anything.
No, the lighting is suspiciously natural for much of these
like you said, it's suspiciously natural.
Yeah.
When he's going into bars, there's not a light set up,
no.
Right? And he's like going up to bartenders. He's just, hey, how you doing? No audio, by the way. Obviously, they couldn't get a boom guy.
God, no.
And he's doing this voiceover about his old man's right arm. And they're going to use right arm the whole movie. Yeah. And I'm like, wait, isn't it right hand? I never heard right arm before. And it was bugging the shit out of me.
And so he sort of walks around, right?
Yeah.
And he says, like, I'm looking for my friend, Jolly. And I knew he would be in some joint. And I go, well, okay, he means bars. And I write, guy, there are lots of bars in L.A. I mean, lots of bars. Just walking around, going into every bar, be like, hey.
Hey, you know Jolly?
Yeah, you know this guy Jolly? As I write my notes, I said, like, if some guy... So this is literally the most inefficient way to find somebody, to just walk around and say, like, have you seen a guy who looks like Al from Home Improvement?
Yeah.
Like, there's no fucking... Like, how does he describe Jolly to these people? He's jolly, like he's like Santa Claus, you know. He's got a little bit of a beard. He's a bigger man. They're like, you mean like half our customers? I don't... So, but just like a movie, he finds him. And guess what? He's a bartender. Oh, so what luck. So so he finally finds Jolly. Yeah. And Mimi and Jolly are having a drink. They throw out the N-word for good measure at this point.
We are now 10 minutes into the movie.
Really, there's no like context or meaning. He's like, oh, hey, Mimi, it's good to see you. What, are we going to go kill some N-words? And he's like, yeah, you know, that's why I came to town. You know, the streets here need cleaning. That's what I heard, right? And so Mimi says he must have looked in 50 bars. He's like, I've been here for weeks, Jolly.
I think it was on like some pub crawl to find this guy.
Yeah. Okay. Also, like this. So this is the first time we get into like what is the fucking timeline of this movie?
I can't ever tell because I didn't know that the guy at the beginning of the movie was Duke. I didn't know. I couldn't fucking... Like, what the fuck's going on?
Know that was Mimi
because he has gray hair, right?
I was like, what the fuck's going on here?
Because this guy has black hair. Yeah, and you're wondering, like, wait, because they don't tell you, like, anything like what's going on.
Yeah.
Or that was not a flashback, but a future back.
Yeah,
I had no idea. I don't know what you would call that.
Foreshadowing?
Yeah.
Like, I guess Duke pioneered the idea of showing the ending first and then cutting back, you know?
Yeah.
Which everybody's copied now. But I don't know... Because you're right, Chris. He had gray hair in the beginning. You're like, well, wait, did he dye his hair?
What? Couldn't figure it out. And
what the facial hair?
His facial hair was different too. He didn't have a mustache at one point, and then he has a mustache again. Like every 10 years, he grows a different facial, hairstyle.
So, do you guys do you have any idea how long, like, what the timeline for this movie is? Because when I watched it at first, I thought it was like when he got to LA, it was like a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's not how it goes because later on, isn't it like 4 years have
4
passed?
years, yeah.
4 years.
Right.
From the time that he got to LA to that scene was 4 years. Not Jolly, but later in the movie. That was the first time that we have any kind of
So wait.
reference to
So
time.
he's been in LA for 4 years, right?
Right.
By the time
and he's all grayed out.
Yeah.
When he starts working for Chucky.
Hey, you know the stress. The stress.
Yeah.
That's right, yeah.
So we learned that Jolly's dad. Okay. So they're having these drinks, right, and throwing out the N-word.
I missed over these last however long I've been in Sicily.
So yeah, we learned that Jolly's dad ended up in quote a pine box, and it's so funny because everybody this is the only other time where somebody else gets a monologue, and Jolly's going on this monologue. He's like, Mimi, you don't know, but my father. The cops told him that, like, you need to take this rap or you're going to end up in a pine box. And he says, well, take the rap. And guess what, Mimi? He still ended up in a pine box.
But Jolly survived. That was the deal.
Yeah. But Jolly survived. And then, oh, my God, this is one of my favorites, is then Mimi goes on one of his long monologues about his own father. And he goes, you know what it's like when my father came to this country?
Were you rolling your eyes as much as I was?
Oh, God,
yeah. This was amazing.
It was
Are you kidding me? When he goes... You know what my father did in the old country? He was a glass blower. He was an artist.
He even had the little like Italian finger thing
He
going.
does. I put it up when I did it. He goes, he was an artist.
For those of you who can't see, Mike did the Italian finger thing. Every time we do something on the show, it's always out.
He's an artist.
Yeah, if Mike stops talking, it's because he's sitting on his hands.
I love when he said that when he goes, he was the best glassblower. He was an artist. Mm-hmm. It was very Sopranos to me. And then then he goes, but then some guy handed him a fish. He came to this country, a man handed him a fish on the street.
It was much more racist than that. He comes off the boat and he meets an Irish cop. The Irish cop hands him a fish and says, "You're going to sell this." And I'm like, this doesn't make sense.
He's like,
why would the cop care?
Yeah.
Because he meets one of them Irish. You know what I mean? Those potato eaters, you know?
I'm a Sicilian. These are little Irish. Well, they've been here longer.
Yeah, and this Irish motherfucker hands him a fish, and he tells him, "You're gonna sell this fish. You ain't blowing nothing in this country, eh?
Except me."
And then he just goes on. He's like, and then he tried to sell the fish on a corner, and he got beat. And then he goes to another corner, and somebody else hit him over the head, and then another, and another, and
it took him like 20 beats over the head to figure out he needs to make some friends before he goes to this corner.
I wrote he must have been a horrible fish salesman.
It doesn't help when you stand there with a fish on your dick. It doesn't really help sell it.
Maybe he was trying to blow the fish.
Fish blower, glass blower.
And put in his mouth, fish's mouth. Trying to play it like a fucking kazoo, this guy. And they're like, somebody.
Well, what in America?
So, okay, then he goes, and then he made some friends, and then they got a baseball bat, and they started hitting other people over the head, and then eventually hit so many people over the head that he became the crime boss.
They owned every corner. This is the formation of the mob.
Yeah.
This is the fast, 3-minute how everything came together.
Yeah.
And it was all his dad, nobody else.
Yeah. And then he goes, all right, now, Jolly, we're going to go over and we're going to get this guy. His name is Chucky Tripoli. You know who this guy is? And he's like, yeah, hey, Mimi, that used to be your dad's lieutenant. Now he's the #1 guy. Mm-hmm. Cut to a church. Mimi and Jolly go into this church with obviously stolen shaky as hell camera footage.
And the best green suit ever.
Oh, God, yeah.
Okay, so the footage on this church is so fucking shaky and obviously stolen. They were having some kid walk along with them, and he's like, yeah, get a few shots of us walking around on the outside. And he's like, all right. And it's all shaky and shit. There's no tripod. There's no audio.
But the scene after that, so when they go into the church and they pull out Chucky and they're coming back to the car, it's a very steady shot. And I didn't realize that they were shooting from inside of a car.
Yeah.
I'm like, that was a great shot.
They were stealing it though. That's the way they stole it. Is they're like, film us from the car through the window.
Yeah.
And then we'll just get in, and it'll work. Also, when they go in the church, they obviously stood on the balcony during like a Sunday mass, and they're just stealing the shit out of this because it's a real service going on. Did they take him out of the church? Because I didn't really know what was going on. Like I just saw a
went
service.
into the church and pulled him.
Yeah. They got him by the arm.
He's got like the real church going on, and people are like, "What the fuck? What the fuck was that?" People are like, "This is L.A. There's no mob out here. What the hell?" So they're going to get okay. So then, yeah, you're right. That great shot outside, right? And they lead him into the car. That is a good shot because we pan back, like the guy basically moves his seat. And we see that we're in the car through the car window. And they drive him off, right?
Yeah.
And then I love this scene. So we go to Chucky's house, right? And this is the most obvious fake delivery guy I've ever seen in my life.
This is a porn scene.
It's just Jolly is dressed up as a delivery guy, a.k.a. he found a black hat somewhere.
And like a flannel shirt.
Yeah.
Like an Al Borland flannel shirt.
He looks like... like imagine a guy just put on like a big leather hat, right?
Yeah.
And a flannel shirt, and he's like, hey, UPS, eh? So he knocks on the door, right? And this, I guess it's supposed to be a kid.
Yeah, it's a kid, and I forget what his name was.
It's Chucky's son, right?
Bobby? No.
Oh, shit.
Or Marco. Is it Marco?
Okay, I don't know. I
Whatever.
just put it as
But
kid.
anyways, I see this guy. Doesn't he look like your brother with a fro?
He does kind of look like my brother. Yeah. If you
I
put
wish
a
he
fro,
looked like a famous person, but he looks like your brother with an afro. a perfect like tight knit afro.
Tight knit.
I'll ask my brother to grow his hair out. Maybe it'll go like that.
I know. Yeah.
So this is about as bad as the Chevy Chase, shark thing from SNL. Is Jolly knocks on the door and this guy goes, he's
Land
like,
shark.
"Hey, Candygram. Oh, I mean delivery, UPS, FedEx, UP FedEx, please." And the guy's like, "Oh, what did we get? A package?" And he comes down and he's like unwrapping this package while this mom is on the phone. Great dialogue from the mom, by the way. She's just like, "I don't know where he went. He just went with some guys in the church, and
he's been gone for days."
And for some reason, I didn't understand this. For some reason, they have like a gumball machine in their house.
Yeah, I saw that too. Like, who the fuck is a gumball machine?
Like
in
it
their
was
house?
stolen from a pizza parlor.
Yeah.
That
was a good wedding gift, though. I'm sure.
It's like a full like something you would find at a convenience store, but it's also empty.
Yeah.
It was very weird. I don't know if you noticed that. It was an odd thing to be in the background. So the kid opens up that package, right? Mm. And then he freaks out, and we see. Well, by the way, and the mom goes like, "Oh, what are you looking at?" And she goes over and looks at it. Kind of no reaction for the mom, like, But inside the box
was like a cut Vienna sausage with the ring around it.
Right? Yes.
It wasn't a finger, but it was supposed to be.
Okay, but it was supposed to be a finger. By the way, real classy touch placed on cotton, like a ring.
Yeah.
I thought that was a classy touch. They didn't just put the finger in the box and let the blood bleed through.
Yeah.
They put a little cotton. I wanted to see the scene of Jolly and Mimi setting that up.
Yeah.
No. Put some cotton in it.
Yeah.
Make it look nice, We want to let him know we mean business, but at the same time, he's taken care of,
Do you think Jolly had some fun with it, like knelt down in front of me, like, "Hey, Mimi, say yes."
The relationship they have, Chris. Yes. Okay, like we'll get to it, but Jolly's either fucking Mimi or fucking a dog. So
Jolly's fucking. That's all we know.
Yeah.
Their relationship is very, very.
Oh my
odd.
God! Yeah.
Wait, that's not all Italians? They don't just make out?
multiple times in this movie. Do you know
Jolly, calm down. Let me kiss you.
Jolly, come here. Give me one on the lips, huh?
For good luck.
This time with some tongue, with some meaning, Jolly. So we go to this mob meeting, right? A bunch of mob dudes go to this meeting, and I love this. So they all sit down at this big table, and they pass around the finger, and we got to see each guy looking at it, and they all kind of look at it. They're like, yeah.
That's his finger. I've seen it on his hand multiple times.
Yeah.
But there's one guy who breaks the fourth wall, if you notice, who literally looks at the camera and does it like, huh? Like he's like, oh, you got me.
I was too involved with the voiceover that was going over each of these people. We got Vinny the Jew, and then the Greek.
I didn't remember
the Italian.
Any of this.
It doesn't matter. We won't ever address them.
No.
Yeah.
One guy, he looks at the camera. The guy who looks at the camera breaks the fourth wall. He almost says like, what are you gonna do? That's his reaction with it. Then the son reads the ransom letter, right? And he's like, they want $250,000 or they send an arm. And one guy's like, hey, we should pay. And another guy goes, how do we even know that's his finger? And another guy chimes in and says,
I've seen that finger on his hand multiple times.
He goes, 1,000,000 times. I know it's his finger. I've seen it 1,000,000 times.
In my butthole.
It's like he would recognize a finger. And then they fight about what to do, and they eventually decide to pay, right?
Well, that was a great line, too. Like, the one guy trying to get them to pay is like, what are we jerking off for?
Who's jerking off where?
So then we go to the drop, right? They just drop money off, and Jolly picks it up real easy,
That's
right?
the first part of the ominous music that we keep
Yeah.
on
Oh,
getting.
God. It's
There's
so good.
so much ominous music.
So
in this
good.
movie.
Yeah, the kill music, as I put it. So we hear in that voiceover during the drop that basically they say in the ransom note, drop the money off, and we'll have them back before the wedding.
What wedding?
Cut to cruise ship wedding party, which is obviously the real wedding that Mimi was pretending was actually happening. Do you think people showed up and they're like, who's this guy? I don't even know the bride or groom, but I had to bring an expensive gift. Do you think Mimi was also like, hey, don't eat that food, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. There was a nice
Hors only.
Yeah,
Just
hors d'oeuvre.
Totino's pizza
It's
rolls.
one of those. It's one of those weddings. You know what I mean? One of the hors d'oeuvre only ones. You go there and you're like, oh really? You have a wedding at 5 o'clock at night. Yeah, I expect a dinner. I've been to one of those. I'm telling you.
Oh, me too. It's like pigs in a blanket and like
Yeah,
maybe,
and you're like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
Tell me I gotta eat before I get here. Can you just give me some fucking chips? And that salsa bowl ran out 3 hours ago, all right? Come on. How much is pace? Let's go.
No, they bring like a Home Depot bucket of like generic salsa and just kind of dump it in a vat.
It's one of those ones that just says salsa.
Yeah.
So, okay, we go to this cruise ship wedding. The kidnapped guy's son, Chucky's son, he has gotten married, okay?
He is married. This is the after the reception.
And then all the mob dudes are there, and the dad is back. So Chucky's back. We're very confused as to like, wait.
They just returned him?
Okay, they returned him. No big deal.
They needed seed money.
And then we hear of this bread tradition that will keep coming up this movie. I am Italian. I personally have never heard of this bread tradition, but I'm not Sicilian. So
You never cut the first piece of bread and toss it to your father, and then he gives you money underneath
that there's
the bread?
like some sort of prize in the bread. Like somebody, I don't understand this thing is like the bread is all hollowed out. Like somebody, I don't understand how
what they do is they bake the money in the bread.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
As you would bake a gun in bread.
And then we hear the wedding song, right?
The number one hit in this
Oh
movie?
God.
The number one hit.
I wish I was Sicilian.
Rigatoni, mustaccioli, or spaghetti. It's a dish like you're never gonna forget. When the waiter comes around, don't be bashful, just sit down for rigatoni, mustaccioli, or spaghetti. Now if you're really looking for a treat, we got the dish that's awful hard to beat. No matter if you're poor
This
or
guy
the
comes
elite.
out and he brings all these children with him, by the way, which is also like, no.
What movie are we watching?
It worried me when he took them all by the hand and he's like, hey, come out. You're all crotch height. So, Chris,
Time to wet the noodle.
I was talking to you earlier and you were telling me the wedding song.
Yeah.
You loved it.
Oh yeah. Oh, I adored it. I want the lyrics. I want the soundtrack.
Do you want that gold jacket?
Fuck yeah. The Morrissey would wear that shit. You kidding me? The thing's awesome.
So what we're saying is like some random guy comes out and sings. Like he was actually hired to be at the wedding. He's like, well, if they're going to film a movie, I am going to be in it. Yeah. And then Jolly and Mimi come to crash the wedding, right?
Do you see them when they're going through the toll booth, stolen footage again?
Yeah.
And they're like not even stopping.
Yeah.
Just like, here's the money.
Yeah.
Take the guy's hand with them.
Also, I write, there's a surprising lack of security considering the kidnapping.
Yeah.
Like, there's literally... Okay, we're talking about mob bosses, and they're all in the same ship for a wedding.
The number one mob guy.
Yeah. Is the number one mob guy in L.A.
Yeah.
The L.A. Mafia, which we've never heard of. Maybe it exists. I don't know. I don't want to find out.
No.
But there's literally no guys. Like, so we only see mob bosses, but we never see mob guys in this movie.
Yeah.
And in between this, for runtime, we're getting like shots of B-roll of like pretty pictures of the ship. And then we cut back to the song, and we have the toll pay, and then they finally roll up. Like it's been a couple of minutes.
I'm wondering, like, do you think this is like a real mafia, or is this just some sort of like, I don't know, a bowling team,
A social club.
yeah, like is this just some sort of
This is Sicilian social club.
Well, isn't it the
It's
Sons
the
of?
Sons of Italy. It's like the Sons of Italy in LA, and they just like to pretend mobster. But some guy lost a finger. It's no longer a joke, you know? So they come up and they're going to crash the wedding with no security. They just walk right in, and then Mimi kind of comes up to the table. He's like, hey, I'm a Mimi. I'd like to wish you a happy wedding for your wife and you. If you don't mind, I'm going to kiss the bride. And he puts his lips right on her. If there's one thing Mimi likes to do, it's he likes to kiss people.
Yeah.
You know? Likes to show his respects.
Mm-hmm.
And he gives a toast to the
yeah.
whole wedding, right? And he goes, so Chucky's sitting there. And he goes, those are the guys that kidnapped me. And another guy's like, we don't want a bloodshed, you know? We don't want a bloodbath. It's a wedding. Yeah. He's not going to do anything. I'm like,
because they recognized who Mimi was. They're like, oh, that's Don Mimi's son. Like that's
which you think Chucky would know, considering
he
that
was the lieutenant.
Yeah, he was only working with his dad. But he's like, oh, is that who? I thought I recognized that pompadour. But now everybody's getting along.
Yeah, and Mimi's like saying hi to everybody. He's like, you get that Rodney Dangerfield joke of like, how are the boys? He goes, one I put through college and one I put through the wall.
Yeah, he's asking him. He's like, how are the kids?
Yeah,
you know,
what the fuck?
Wait, what the?
We just took a man's finger, and now we're sharing spaghettini.
It's like all's forgotten. You know, they returned him.
Yeah,
he's only down one finger.
Yeah. And the bride and groom have a fabulous wedding gift in the bounty of a bag full of cash.
Yeah.
The ransom money.
Yeah, basically.
But then Mimi, he comes over and he's like talking to Chuck. He's like, hey, look, by the way, sorry about that finger business. You understand, obviously. Maybe you don't. Maybe none of us do. Maybe the audience doesn't get it. We're all friends now. Hey, camera, hello. We're all friends. Don't worry about it. All's forgotten. The finger has been returned. Unfortunately, they couldn't reattach it.
But you know, you don't need that finger because I'm going to be your right arm.
Yeah. Which I guess the whole thing is like, yeah, he's going to be his enforcer, right?
Yeah, it was weird. So he kidnapped him to get the money to then have a gift for the wedding.
Couldn't he
just show up?
Yeah, so he gave him the 50. Wait, so he gave him the 50 grand back?
Yeah.
So what was
the whole point?
He gave it to the kids. He didn't give it to Chucky. He goes, that was for the kids.
The point of
why?
the finger? Like, why did he have to kidnap him?
To establish...
Couldn't he have just been like, hey, I'm in town? Yeah. Or does Mimi, he's got to make a grand entrance.
He's got to make an entrance.
No, they're going to love it.
Yeah.
Nobody uses the pinky. Come on.
No one's done this for years.
But then Mimi goes, he's like, it's all right, guys. Hey, guess what? I'm only here to kill pimps and bookmakers. He uses his 2 code words. Yeah. Then, by the way, there's another Bob Boss who comes over and goes, hey, Mimi, I want to introduce myself. And then Mimi looks at me, he's like, hey, why don't you get lost, huh?
Keep walking. That guy had so much flop sweat.
Well, where do you think Mimi's hand was when he was talking to that girl? Why do you think he couldn't shake his hand?
Yeah. You skipped the girl. The introduction to the main female lead.
Yeah. Some guy leaves his chair, and Mimi just decides he's going to take not only his chair, but his girlfriend.
Where you staying, Mimi, while you're in Los Angeles? Oh, I'm staying with her.
Yeah, he just
like, who?
I'm staying with this broad. And she's like, what? And he's like, and he turns to her, he goes, hey, you want to put, like Jesus, you want to put me up for the night? You know?
You want to put me up for a couple months? His intention was, I'm just going to live with you for a few months. Is that cool?
And I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
And then he goes, STV. Like,
he
straight
does.
to badge with his hand.
Yep. He pulls a Trump.
He goes straight for badge. Okay, so what we've seen since Mimi's gotten to LA is that he stole a man and then stole his finger.
Yeah.
Got 50 grand, gave it back to the man's kid, comes to the wedding like, hey, it's me. And then steals another man's girlfriend, sticks his hand up her like a ventriloquist puppet, and this scene's done.
Yeah, they do more shots of the wedding because they need the runtime, and then he leaves with the floozy.
Do you think anyone got a slice of that cake? Is the question.
There is a part where he stares at the cake, and then you can almost see Mimi like, no, don't cut it. We got to return it. Yep. They take returns on cakes, believe it or not, everybody. Sorry, it's not a real wedding. The gifts are real, though. By the way, it said we will not be giving them back.
I'm convinced that cake was just styrofoam and caulking.
That's what I figured.
Now, can we say a word about the bride's headdress, the hat she's wearing? Just like a French clown.
Well, Chris, that's what they can find at the Goodwill, okay? He looks like a French clown.
Well, it's because you don't like the French.
I love the French.
Did you ever fuck that Frenchman? Did you give him the Mimi treatment? You locked lips with him.
Still looking, Mike. Still looking.
When you find this Frenchman hacker who stole your Twitter.
He attempted to break into the Twitter and the Instagram. Failed. But I'm going to be in France.
Will you lock lips with him if you see him?
Will you cup his face?
Will you cup his face and lock lips? Chris. It's a sign of strength.
I just want to talk to him.
So then we go to drinking and singing, right? So
Yeah.
Mimi and his new guma, Liz, they're going to a bar and they're drinking while Duke, the man who wrote and directed and stars in this movie, croons on the soundtrack.
Yeah.
That is definitely him singing.
That's him.
God.
Oh, it's definitely
wow.
him. He's a singer. Of course it's him.
Yeah.
Did you notice that when they got to one of the bars, they took the camera from the low angle?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then they bring it up to the girl's ass, and it's in a hot leather seat with like the lights on there, and it's just like sticking, and you just see it stick, and then they go up.
At first,
Yeah.
I didn't know what I was looking at.
I thought- I
Like
thought
what
it
you
was being
see
stretched out.
is like skin on leather, and I was like, wait, well, what? Oh my god, it's
Yeah.
an ass.
Yeah. She was pantyless.
And like he's just like you said, he's lifted up her skirt and he's grabbing her ass and stuff.
It's disgusting.
It is very odd.
It's like Velcro skin on leather.
It's literally the most unflattering shot you could imagine.
No, it's sexy.
Crotchless on a bar stool.
It's sexy because exactly what scene it leads to is sex.
Yeah.
Well, kind of sex, which thank God this is like the one guy other than Miami Connection, well, and Lost Faith. Most of the time when you get these auteurs, they always want to have themselves having sex for a long time. You know, obviously like the most famous
Tommy
example,
Wiseau.
The Room. At least Duke spared us that. Like we didn't have to watch him boning a lady for 15
We don't see his
minutes.
ass either, thank
Oh,
God.
God. Imagine that.
I'm sure it has as much hair as his chest. Juice. So we can,
The Brooklyn Gorilla, right?
yeah. You want to know who the Brooklyn Gorilla was?
Oh.
It was Duke.
By the way, this guy's a super Italian. Duke?
Yeah.
He's super. I never
His
met
name
an Italian.
is Dominic. His
he
real
goes
name
by
was
Duke.
Dominic Machiarelli or something like that.
Okay, the Duke was named Marion.
That's
No,
true.
he named himself Duke. That's his stage name, but his real name was Dominic. So they're in bed now, yeah. And then Mimi asks her, okay, yeah, they're talking for a while, and he's like, "Hey, what do you got for dessert, eh?" And then I think we know what she's serving, but we cut. So when we go to drinking and singing some more, and it's Jolly is like hanging out with their new best friends, which is the mob guys. So all is forgotten. They're all good friends now. They're hanging out at the local Sons of Italy club. And there's one girl sitting on a guy's lap, and then this big guy comes in. Okay, and we'll just mention that he is black because, oh my God, they're going to mention
They
it.
mention it. They make
yeah.
sure you know.
He comes in saying, he's like, hey, I'm a pimp, and that's my girl, and nobody fucks with my broads.
No, it was his bottom bitch. It was his old lady.
Oh,
It was-
okay, yeah,
It was like his the only one he's connected to, the one that runs all the other
Yeah.
girls.
Okay, and now I'm going to say this line.
Oh,
this
God.
is from the movie. This is a real line in the movie. Is one of the guys looks at him and he says, "Take your Aunt Jemima and get out of here."
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh boy. There is no point when you're writing a script where that is an acceptable line
No.
to use. Not even in 1974. Good God.
Do you think when Duke wrote that line, it's like, when you get to this line, really sell it?
Yeah, I bet Duke was laughing his ass off. He's
Yeah.
like, "Ah!"
That's gonna be the nicest thing they say to any of the black people in this movie.
Probably, yeah.
That's why I wrote it down. That is the only line we will say.
Mm-hmm.
They're also going to call this man a word that we will not use. But
Besides the N word,
Oh, God,
another
yeah.
it
derogatory
starts
term.
with a S and ends with a K.
Yeah.
No, thank you. But we will substitute the word because what they do call him is pretty amazing, actually. So Mimi comes from the shadows, right? And he calls him an insanely racist name and points a gun at him. And then the pimp leaves with the lady.
ominous
right?
music again.
Yeah. And then Jolly and Mimi discuss how they want to kill that pimp because he's the biggest pimp in L.A.
You gonna let this buffalo go? Is one of the lines.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that.
And then Mimi says, hey, Jolly. This is their tagline, guys. Tonight we eat, tomorrow we shoot.
Hard cut.
Cut to shooting people.
Yep.
So Mimi has just got this shotgun and
Shooting everybody in this
Yeah.
restaurant. Everybody.
men,
Except
women.
for the pimp.
Yeah, they're literally killing
Yeah,
everybody
why-
but the pimp.
Yeah, why'd she fucking shoot
Who
people
are they
for?
killing at
Yeah.
this point? There's even a part where one of the best parts in the whole movie is a guy's reading a newspaper that says like 13 dead, and
Yeah,
then
and he
got
gets shot.
He gets shot through the paper.
Was it 13 dead or was it 13 bookmakers arrested? I think that's
and
what
even
it
the
was.
paper has it, quote, bookmaker. There's like an asterisk, you know?
Yeah.
13 bookmakers shot. Like
No,
the LA
arrested.
Times would have that.
That they were arrested.
Yeah.
That's what that was.
Arrested? I didn't see anybody
Oh.
arrested. Did they arrest a corpse? Because they rubbed ketchup all over everybody.
Yeah.
Oh god, the cutscenes back to the dead bodies on the tables were great.
Mm-hmm.
They look like post-apocalyptic disasters more than they were dead.
Yeah, they're like,
Yeah. Yeah. And I love when he shoots that lady on the toilet. What she had to do with anything, I don't know.
They love killing people on the toilet or in bathrooms. There's so much of that in this
it's
movie.
such an easy target.
yeah, they don't move. They're not going anywhere.
No survivors.
He shotguns a lady on the toilet, and we just get a real shaky shot of her kind of leaning against the door, and she's all covered in ketchup. So then we go to Sicily, right? And the Don is talking to some guy about how they need to get rid of some guy called the Greek who's selling drugs or something. That's all I could get from this. The Don is so fucking hard to understand. This man has like the thickest accent, and I can barely understand what he's trying to say. And he goes on these monologues. Hughes, you said at some point on the subtitles it just says
Speaking foreign language.
Wow.
And there's a part where it goes mumbles. Like he's not. He just says mumbles.
like the guy writing them down is like he just gave up.
Yeah. So the mafia never wants to deal with drugs. The Greek is going to get killed for pushing dope. That's all going through Chucky.
Yeah.
And so this hit is being given to Chucky.
Yeah.
That's all we know from that scene. And they're drinking anisette.
Okay.
And that's it. And then then they cut to the scene back in LA on a bottle of anisette. So they were doing it in Sicily, and they cut to the same bottle, but now it's in LA.
What is that? Sambuca or is that?
I think it's like an aperitif or something.
I think it's Sambuca because a lot of the Italians will drink it Sambuca, which is like a clear alcoholic beverage. It tastes like licorice. It's like it would be like Jaeger,
Oh, okay.
Oh,
but
cool.
clear.
Okay.
It's like a real Italian drink. You either drink Sambuca for dessert or you drink limoncello, but it's mostly Sambuca. So Mimi's drinking with his friends, right? Okay, this is amazing. He's drinking with his friends, and they're like, "Hey, Mimi, does Jolly ought to bring his motherfucking dog around with him? Well, just the way he treats this dog, it's like his fucking wife or something." Cut to what I see is Jolly French kissing a dog.
Yeah. Well, he's got a treat in his mouth.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a treat,
or,
all
a
right.
treat, or his tongue in
Yeah.
his mouth.
Yeah.
And then their voiceover is, Jolly's first love is that dog, then eating, and then Mimi.
This is very odd. This is the first thing where we get we gotta establish that Jolly loves this pup,
Yep.
And it's what is it, like a little, like a poodle
It was
type
a little
dog,
Yeah.
right?
thing.
Yeah, Chris, when that treat's in his mouth, I feel like when the dog goes for it, he drops the treat and just starts going, "Ah."
Starts tonguing the dog.
No, he's not the only one that will attempt to make out with the dog.
Yeah.
Because that will come up again. Trust me, it will come up a
Oh,
lot.
God.
A little too much in this movie. Like, a few more shots and this could have been considered bestiality. Like, it goes really far. Then there's a great part, though.
I hope you know what this woman said, but go.
Okay. No. Before any of that, there's a part where some girl gets out of a pool. And
The
Mimi's like,
Jewish neighbor.
Mimi's like, "Who's this girl?"
Yeah.
And the guy's like, "I don't know. He's the kid from next door.
The
some-
Jewish neighbor from
some Jew from next door." That's what he says.
Oh my God.
And
And Mimi goes, "Hey, what's your name?"
hey, what's your name?
She's
And
like,
she looks back at him in Italian and it's like, "Suck my dick" or something. I'm like, what? And he goes, "Get out of here."
He pushes
Shoves her in the
pushes
pool,
a,
man.
A 5-year-old girl in the pool.
Yeah.
Like, again, there's a little too much of young children hanging out with young men in this, or old men in this movie.
Yeah.
So then we watch Jolly. Okay, I said you watch Jolly French kiss a poodle for a little bit longer, and then they have a big dinner for Palm Sunday. Okay.
Oh.
And then Jolly takes some food. Okay, so they're all eating, right? And then Jolly takes some food inside to go check on the dog.
yeah.
He said something like, "Hey, I'm gonna go check on the dog. All right, let me get some of this food." And
Yeah, and he
starts,
brings it to Fanny, which
he's
is
like
yeah.
getting all the food with them.
But some point in this is when we get the first years, right? And this is Mimi's kid is now 17 years old.
What?
Yeah, in that
I
scene.
didn't. I didn't even hear that.
Yeah, I have that. I'm like, wow, Mimi's kid is now 17. Hasn't seen him in
11 years he's been here.
yeah.
What the fuck's he been?
This is the first. I thought he was only in LA for 4 years.
Yeah,
I
there
thought,
are
yeah.
weird passages of time that there's nothing to let us know otherwise, other
So
than
that's what I have written in my
conversation,
notes.
like passing of conversation.
17? Jesus, you're right. It's just so passing in the
Yeah.
conversation. Like we're supposed to listen to every goddamn word these guys are saying.
Yeah, Hey, you know, Mimi a junior. You got high school now, you know.
So yeah, they're all eating together as a family.
God.
Even Chucky, the guy that got his finger cut off, they're all eating together. Like
It's all forgiven. Now,
it's all
yeah?
forgiven, and they're going through this diatribe of like Italian disgrace.
Oh my God! Here's where it starts.
Fuck.
Okay, this is.
Okay.
Oh my God!
I feel like the film was written around this monologue.
Yes,
and he
for
went
sure.
out from here.
For sure.
Yeah.
Obviously, like I said, this is his political speech that
Yeah.
he feels like everybody at the Klan rally is going to agree with, you know.
Yeah.
He starts this rant about how it's so unfair how us Italians are treated in this world. Is it not us Sicilians, right? Take this old woman here. And he grabs this old lady's hand and he goes on this like 15-minute fucking rant about how he's like, you know, it's no fair for her. You know what her hands smell like to me? They smell like olive oil.
Smell like the herbs, the oregano.
The oregano.
Yeah.
Because she's cooking, she's working so hard, and what do? We deliver her death. We deliver her violence. And he's going on and on and on about this. And
America treated the Italians terribly.
yeah, he's
Yeah.
like, they treat us bad. My father was an artist.
They complained about the racist terms they were called.
Yeah, he's like, they're so racist to us. That's why we feel we can be racist to everybody else, I guess.
One time, my father blew a fish. One time.
They call him a guinea. They call him a this. They call him a that. I'm like, you know, Mimi, just a thought here. You know, maybe other minority groups don't like to be called by racist terms either. Just a thought. Just a thought, buddy. Maybe if you don't want to be treated unfairly, maybe you shouldn't treat them that way. Yeah?
Yeah.
Just a thought.
You know.
Also, now this is another thing. I am Italian. I know people who are in groups, old people, okay, that have been in the country for a long time, that are in groups that get upset about how people are portrayed in movies like The Godfather and other things like that. He is obviously harking to this stuff, like how he doesn't like how Italians are portrayed. Let me tell you something, Duke. The worst thing you can do is make a movie in which every Italian is a fucking mobster that kills people. You're never going to get sympathy for yourself going like, they call us murderers, they call us guineas, they call us this. My father only blew one fish. But they treat us so terrible that he's calling everybody else a racist term. It's like, if you want sympathy, this is the wrong way to do it.
You pretty much summed up exactly what is wrong with this movie.
Okay, then this lady tries real hard to get some dialogue out.
Oh,
right?
God.
She kind of looks at him. She goes, Mimi.
Mimi. Just dead-eyed. Like, this woman's, she's too old to give a fuck.
She's like trying so hard. She's trying to read that card they got off camera. She's like, Mimi. Not even looking him in the eyes. Mimi, thank you for coming to my home and saying your words. I'm going to go inside now. Yeah, Chucky's like, Mom, hey, we want to talk business here, huh? Go inside. Get the fuck out of here. Thank you for cooking dinner. Your job is done, all right? Get those oregano hands out of the men's business, eh? And then that, quote, killing music starts again.
The ominous tone.
Okay.
So good.
And then Chucky, he gives Mimi a bread loaf because he couldn't have just handed him an envelope
why
of
is
cash.
everything's in a fucking loaf of
Fucking,
bread?
we got this bread.
Yeah.
Catch the piece of bread.
Can you imagine? He goes, Mimi, hold on. I want to talk. It's coming out of the oven. Can you give me 15 minutes? Can we just... Thank God your rant lasted a little bit longer.
You burn your fingers.
And so he basically says, hey, that money's from your dad. He wants you and Jolly to go kill this Greek dude.
No, it was like Don gave me this money to hire guns from New York.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to do that. You're here. We got the best killers from Sicily here. You guys just go
He's
do
like,
it.
if you can get a finger, you can get the whole thing.
Yeah.
We loved your killing spree with the shotgun. We really think you portrayed Sicilians in a very good light, Mimi.
And this opened up to another dialogue. This is he gives a speech about how they're always killing, and then the Sicilians always take the rap. Never the Jewish people, never the Greeks.
It's like, because you killed everybody. Yeah. We just had a whole montage of him shooting up LA.
Like, they've just been exterminated left and right.
And then they bring up Lowenstein, like, oh, you're going to have an issue because you're going to have to kill the Greek, but he's partners with Lowenstein. I'm like, wait, Lowenstein, the guy from the first 2 minutes of the film?
Yeah.
Okay, how does this all fit in?
Okay. So yeah, because you're right. Wait, who? At this point, you don't know that was like a forward back or whatever.
Yeah,
flash.
I'm like, Lowenstein died in the
flash
first 2
forward.
minutes. I saw his foot in the toilet, and they electrocuted him to death,
Yeah.
and they killed everybody in that building.
Yeah.
I saw all that part.
Yeah, it's like,
now we're gonna.
huh?
Hey, yeah, Lowenstein's gonna be a problem. I'm
Yeah.
like, no, he's not. He's dead. He's been dead for an hour.
Yeah, thank you. Look at that. I tried a new hair dye. My hair's not gray anymore. It's beautiful.
So then we go to the Greek's office. Amazing scene. So he's just
Oh
sitting
my
reading
God.
a paper, right? And Mimi and Jolly walk in, and he goes, "Hey, Mimi, why are you here?" And Mimi goes,
I'm here to kill you.
he says it so matter of fact. He's like, "No, I'm here to kill you."
And then the Greek's response was, but a no here. You're like, what?
He's like, "Huh? Wait, what? What? Hey, it's good to see you and all." But,
It's like,
and then, okay, so they
Did
have.
you get this part, the next part where he calls security? So he calls security, and this giant man comes in.
A Japanese guy.
Right.
by the
Did you
way.
know he was Japanese before?
no, I thought he was Mexican.
No.
I thought he was
I
Mexican.
thought he was like Samoan.
I thought he was Mexican because they were talking. Well, Samoan or Mexican because they were talking about. Oh, he's been working with the Mexicans, and that's why.
That's
he
why I
died
thought he was
because-
Mexican,
Yeah, I was
yeah.
like, oh, maybe that's their version of Mexican in 1970. But no, and then they go like, oh yeah, we killed some Japanese guy.
Well, okay, so the security guy, he's like, "Hey, demonstrate to him what you could do," and then he just hits a table.
Yeah.
And it just breaks in half. And then he goes, "All right, now do that to them." And then they just go like, "Oh, yeah, well, there's one thing that beats muscle, and that's a gun." And they don't even, here's the thing. Mimi and Jolly don't even break a sweat. They just like take their guns out of their coat pockets. I don't even think there was effort involved. Is
No.
They just kind of
No.
like, they don't even really aim. They just kind of go like, ga, 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 ga,
Yeah.
and just shoot this guy dead a couple times. And then they kind of look at each other, and Mimi's like, "I'm out." And Jolly goes, "Well, I got 2 left." And Mimi's like, "Hey, we'll give it to the Greek." Eh?
Just give it to him.
And then they kill him. Yeah, and on the way out, he goes, "Did you see the hands on that, quote, Jap?" I was like, oh my God.
I think that was Duke ad-libbing. I swear to God. I swear to God.
I'm like, okay.
How much of this movie do you think he did ad-lib these lines? The majesty of Sicily is flowing through him right now.
It's like, no, it's all right because we hired minorities.
Yeah.
We can call them whatever we want.
Yeah.
We're an equal employee.
Yeah, there's a
Like,
transaction
this, like,
involved.
Duke's like the epitome of, I have lots of black friends. You know?
Pulling a Jonah Hill. I have lots of gay friends.
He's like, no, it's okay to call this man a Jap
Yeah.
because we paid him.
Yeah.
I mean, my God. They can't even get out of one scene without calling somebody a racial slur. It's just like, they just gotta get it in there. You're right. It's like Duke ad-libbed. He's like, oh, wait, hold up. Before I call cut,
Yeah.
Jap. So then we go to Don's house, all right? And he's all upset he's like all upset that Mimi's killing people.
He had no idea that Mimi was killing people, and that was the whole point of hiring these guns out of New York. He's like, just let the real mob deal with actual killing, and then they go. But now he's mad that his son's doing it. He's like, oh, why is my son doing it?
However, your son has killed dozens of people already.
Yeah.
He's literally gone on shotgun sprees through restaurants.
Right.
And there's, multiple LA Times articles about like serial killer with shotgun terrorizing Los Angeles. Nobody knows what the fuck's going on. He's murdered dozens of people, and now all of a sudden he's in trouble for murdering one guy who was supposed to get murdered.
Yeah.
And he's just like, oh, my son did it. So now I'm all upset, and he's like gonna send his guy.
Yeah.
Well, not yet, but the Don has some assistant guy.
Yeah, Bones is his name.
Okay. And so then we go to a TV, all right? And I guess we're going to watch some TV filmed off a film camera. Because we just sit here and like this TV is running and like we're seeing the lines going across it and everything. And then we so it's some horrible like public access talk show.
Yeah, and it's about the Sons of Sicily Defense League.
The Sicilian Defense League, and it's a lawyer. And we pan out to see one of the crime bosses is watching it, but then the lawyer just gets shot in the eye during the broadcast.
And that had something to do with Bones going there to stop the Sons of Sicily. Like don't bring up Sicily anymore. It's always tainted. So just exist secretly or don't exist at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we're going to make this public speech and we're going to be like this new group.
Because
and
he
then
says
that's why they start killing.
He
them.
says on the air, there's just a lot of like Sicilian people are not criminals, and then
Yeah.
they really prove themselves right by having this guy get shot right in the face during a public access.
It was
talk
so
show.
freaking. This was the least thought out part of the movie.
Yeah. It made no sense. I didn't know what I was watching.
It felt like a director's cut scene that was like, oh, I'll throw it in for the DVD bonus feature in a way.
Because it looked like the shot wasn't the same talk show. So then we go to these mob guys, and they're all arguing about this lawyer getting killed and that Mimi has to kill people.
Yeah, I think Mimi killed the guy on TV.
Well, we didn't see it. It was very odd. So
But that's why all the Sicilians wanted to be dead.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is where we kind of learn that Chucky is setting up Mimi because he's talking to the Don's enforcer, Bones. He's like, yeah, Mimi's going around running crazy. He's killing people. And obviously Chucky hired him. So it's kind of difficult to understand what's going on in this movie sometimes. But this is what I've gained from it. So then, this is great. So Mimi walks in, right? And he's like, hey, how you doing, boys? And then he walks over to his face. He's like, hey, Bones, I haven't seen you in forever. And then Bones just starts beating his ass.
Right in the fucking face.
He's just
This
punching
is from
him.
your dad. This is from your son. This is for making me fly here.
And like, Mimi's just, his head's all bloody. Like he's just got a little bloody nose, He's got some ketchup coming out of his nose. And
Bones
he looks up.
spits on
he
him.
looks up and he goes, I love you, Bones. Give me a kiss. And so then he says, Bones looks at him. He goes, I'm going to give you $50,000 and you can get a legitimate business or it's your ass. And I was like, well, that's not too bad.
No, that's a great deal.
Go legit.
I'll take it.
You kind of just been rewarded. This is like if you messed up in the mob and they just be like, no, we'll just give you some money.
Yeah.
No, that whole thing where we used to whack people if they did something wrong?
Yeah.
Nowadays, we just kind of pay them off.
We're like the new IRS.
Yeah. So then an old lady walks in, Fanny, right?
Oh, God, Fanny, Chucky's wife.
And she's obviously reading things from a cue card because she just kind of doesn't look at his face and she's like, Mimi, you come in my house, you kill my family. Actually, I don't think you've killed anybody from my family.
But
You're
just
murdering my friends.
You're murdering my friends.
And she goes, wipe your tear and blood.
And then this is so great. This is like when you knew Duke wrote this line and he's like, this is the scene, baby. Because he looks at it and he goes, Fanny, you're in or you're in the way.
Yep.
And he pushes
Pushes
her, out
her
of the way.
aside.
Yeah. Then we go to a boat. Wow. What we are about to
Oh
witness.
my
By
God.
the way, Queen Mary.
Yeah.
It's Long Beach.
That lighthouse, yes.
Okay, so Mimi and Jolly are wearing these insane hats and like Hawaiian shirts. Like they're wearing those. What do you even call those? Like straw, like a political convention hat. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think there are called straw hats or they
Yeah,
have some
they're wearing these,
straw
like, these
Dixie hat,
bizarre
what have you.
straw Dixie hats
Yeah.
and Hawaiian shirts, and they're just hanging out with some topless ladies on a boat. And apparently they're making porno movies now.
Yeah, they've somehow you know what? Let's go legit and make porn.
Okay, and this is great. Some guy just gets on the boat. Okay,
Yeah.
we don't know who this
It's
guy
like some
is.
skier or something.
He just gets on the boat, and Mimi asks him about water skiing, and this is the quote this guy says. He goes, "Sure, Mimi, it's my whole life. First thing out of the office, right here. I sleep, screw, swim, all on this boat."
Did you like the hero shot of him getting out of the water?
Yeah, I was like, who is this guy? I thought it was a stranger coming on their boat at first. And then the topless girls get up, and some producer guy, oh no, it's the camera guy.
It's a camera guy, but it looked like just some random producer got caught in the shot.
Yeah.
And he was just standing like staring at the girls on deck naked. And then like, oh, they're gonna get up now, and then the camera panned up. He's oh shit, I'm on camera.
Yeah.
It was like they're looking at him, they're like, are you gonna keep staring at us? He's like, no, I'm looking for the shot. But okay, so that guy who was a swimmer is apparently the director. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, what the fuck's he doing taking a swim? It's a work day, buddy. Let's get going. Like, what the fuck?
They don't know how to make movies, but they got to make this movie with this guy, and then they can figure it out somehow.
Okay, and this is when, so they're sitting on the boat, and Jolly looks at Mimi and goes, hey, wait a second, Mimi, this isn't what the movie was about. He goes, what about killing that super pimp?
Yeah.
Which, I'm calling him super pimp.
Yeah.
They do not
Do not
use
call
the
him
word
that,
pimp.
no.
But he goes, hey, Mimi, wait a second, you got the movie all wrong.
I'm like, I thought they already killed him when they murdered the entire restaurant. I mean, we never saw
No,
it, but
they never decided
And
it.
then, they never did.
He's like going on about how they should have killed that super pimp, and then Mimi's like, no, you don't get it. Jolly, we're gonna make pornos now. That's where the real money is. He's like, some guy, he made a porno for $10,000, he made $250,000. And this is what I wrote in my notes. Why was that director swimming? I still got a lot of problems with this.
Blowing off some steam before he gets blown.
And then Mimi says, he's like, all right, hold on. We hired this boy because he knows what he's doing. But Jolly, we're eventually just going to do it ourselves. We'll learn from this guy, and then we'll go kill Super Pimp, and we'll take all 40 of his girls, and we'll put them in our own movies. And then they look at each other, and they go, tomorrow, he goes, tonight we eat, tomorrow we shoot.
Yep.
They were really trying to make that a catchphrase. They wanted T-shirts with it at the premiere.
Oh, God, yeah. If you're in the way, you're either in or you're in the way. They wanted T-shirts of that shit. Big
The front of the shirt says, tonight we eat, tomorrow we shoot. And the back says, you're either in or you're in the way.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
So then we go to a porn shoot, all right? And these two girls are doing a Crown-style sex scene. And this is my favorite, is the director is sitting right next to him, and this is his direction, okay? Yeah. Great. Yeah. Right. No, go to the right. A little more down? Yeah. Great. Right. Great.
Okay, so yes, the two girls are there. Then the camera guy is in the V berth of the boat, or the director is. Then the camera guy is down in the galley, like shooting from so far away. And then we have Jolly and Liz, and we got Mimi
is sitting. Her head, okay, so she's sitting on the ground. Her head is in the frame of the camera that the guy's filming on. Like, he's trying to film a porno here, and her head's bobbing in front of the camera lens.
And do you see like a boom mic? And the director's like, yeah, like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, so they're recording audio.
Yeah. Why is the fucking director going, yeah, I like that. Ooh, baby, yeah.
He's like, no, you don't get it, Mimi. These are...
edited in post.
These are my type of pornos. Yeah. They like my voice. They like to hear the direction. Yeah, a little to the right. What does that even mean?
To the right.
And so, okay.
So Floozy never saw, or Liz never saw that sex position before.
No.
And Mimi's like, oh, we got that tonight.
And so while she's sitting in front of the camera, she's like, Mimi, I never seen that before. And she's like getting in front of the camera, bobbing in front of it. And this camera guy's getting real annoyed, right? And then all of a sudden, they just get bored.
Yeah. And
they're like, she's like, Mimi, I want to go. And they just all stand up in front of the camera. Yeah. And they're like trying to leave while the boat's all rocking and everything. Which, by the way, filming a porno on a boat that's not docked and it's just waving in the waves and everything.
It's like trying to play handball in curtains.
People are going to get sick watching this porn. And so they leave the room. They walk in front of the camera, and the camera guy's like, hey, could you fucking get out of the shot? And Mimi's like, hey, shut up. Because the whole thing is like, we'll learn how to make a movie, and then we don't need to, fuck it. Let's just go. You guys will send us it when it's done, right?
Yeah.
There's film of that camera, right? And then we go to Jolly's house, okay? So Mimi and Jolly are drinking with the dog. Oh, and we get more love scenes with the dog, right? And Mimi gives us some VO about how Jolly sleeps and eats with that dog. And then we watch Mimi try to kiss it. Like, he's got, like, a cigarette in his mouth, and he's like, come on, take the cigarette, pup.
I thought the dog was going to fall off that bar.
Yeah.
I was waiting.
Yeah.
So then we go to dinner at a restaurant. Mimi and Jolly are meeting with the super pimp, okay? Now, this guy looks, by the way, nothing like the guy in the beginning of the movie.
No.
Nothing.
I think, well, they did a good makeup job on him with a wig.
But he wasn't 9 feet tall like the other guy.
No.
The other guy was super tall and did not have a fro.
No.
This guy looks like Dolomite. Like, he's dressed insane. He has this giant fro. He's got these big glasses on. He's got the most pimp outfit you've ever seen.
Well, apparently 16 years has now passed.
Yeah,
that we don't know
you're
about,
right.
You
so
know?
he looks like Huggy Bear now. So maybe he just looks at me. He's like, hey, we want to borrow some of your 40 broads and put them in a movie, eh? And Super Pimp's like, no.
Like, I don't understand. Like, oh, we'll pay them. They're going to get paid $100 an hour.
Yeah, and he goes, no, I don't want their faces to be seen on a TV screen or
because
a movie
the
screen.
Cops are going to pick them up. I'm like,
the cops will arrest
but I'm like, they won't have to work the streets if they're making more money in porn. And you can legitimize your business.
Yeah, he's like,
yeah.
hey, I'm trying to get you a way where you can report your income. But Jolly's okay. No, this is where it gets to be a point where it's like, oh wow.
Well, the N-words come like hotcakes.
Oh my god. I'm not sure like even a Spike Lee movie says the N-word this much in the matter of seconds. As Jolly starts saying he will never he looks at this man, he's like, you'll never be anything but an N-word unless you listen to Mimi, and he starts going on like you said, Chris. You wonder if he even knew it was rolling.
No.
Is he's just laying into this guy.
You see this guy's face. He's like,
yeah.
what the fuck are they? He wants to react so much.
God.
You felt like this guy wanted to just grab him by the throat and he goes, I don't care if this is a fucking movie. Nobody talks to me that way.
You know what? I don't see a crew.
Again, you said, come here dressed as Huggy Bear. Don't worry that there's no lights or anything. Don't worry that a man's sitting across from us in this actual restaurant that you're stealing footage from, and you're just going to call me the N-word at a table for 15 minutes.
Jesus.
And I read at the end, again, very classy.
Yeah.
Very classy. We want to get sympathy for Sicilians. You know what we should do? Stare at a black man for 10 minutes and call him the N-word.
And then they ended it with is we're gonna kill you. I'm gonna freaking kill you. You are dead. You are so dead. I'm gonna kill you. You don't even know.
Hughes, he says, you better sleep with one eye open because I'm gonna choke you in your sleep. And he goes, not even am I gonna choke you. I'm gonna open the phone book. I'm gonna find out your last name, and I'm gonna choke everybody with your last fucking name in the phone book. You motherfucker.
It's like.
I hope his last name wasn't Smith.
It was white.
Oh God.
And then Super Pimp just kind of looks at me. He's like, you guys watch too many Humphrey Bogart movies and just leaves.
Yeah.
And then Jolly's all upset. And Mimi keeps telling him to calm down. And he goes, hey, Jolly. It's Easter Sunday. It's Easter Sunday. Now come in, give me a kiss.
Yes.
And he grabs Jolly from the back of the head and pulls their lips together, and they kiss. They kiss on the lips.
Mike, is that an Italian Sicilian
No.
thing?
No.
Mike, how many men have you made
on
out
Easter?
with? It's okay. You're
there
Italian.
has never been a time in my life that first of all, I'm not Sicilian.
Right.
From Naples.
Right.
I have never had any Italian relatives kiss me on the cheek is one thing. On the lips, no. You don't lip lock and like maybe I swear to God, maybe he goes, no, Jolly, with tongue, with feeling this time. Come on. What do you think I am? A gay? Come here.
It's Easter here.
I'll show you gay, Jolly.
This is the Lord's kiss.
It's Easter. You don't think Jesus kissed his friends?
Any of your family ever blow a fish?
Hey, we don't talk about that, all right?
They're artists.
My great grandfather came to this country. You know what he did? He made wine. He was an artist.
Oh, God.
And then you know what they did? They gave him a shovel and he had to dig graves. I'm serious. I'm serious. That is actually what happened. He was an artist.
Was it the Irish cop?
Yeah, an Irish cop walked up to him. He gave him a shovel and he goes, hey, I know you squish grapes for a living. Why don't you squish bodies, eh?
Yeah.
Squish some dirt.
Yeah, yep. We had a fish, but a man took it.
They gotta blow a fish. Oh, okay. So then I write in my notes, well, it is Easter Sunday. Explain to me, Chris. What do we see?
We get to see like these weird quick cuts of this the super pimp now being crucified.
Yeah,
on this cross.
The old give me 2 boards of some nails, we'll put them up for the night.
Yeah.
You know,
like the two, like they glued pennies in his palm and had him stand up against a cross with ketchup running down his hand.
Yeah, because you never see his feet.
No.
Yeah, glued to.
And then we just intersperse it with stolen footage of the Hollywood Bowl.
Okay, on Easter Sunday,
Yeah.
which they have obviously. Okay, if you've ever been to the Hollywood Bowl, the Hollywood Bowl is a bowl.
Yeah.
Okay, there's like seating for everybody.
Right.
Okay, and then there's hills above the Hollywood Bowl. Okay, obviously they ran with a camera up to one of those hills during this Easter Sunday mass at the Hollywood Bowl and zoomed in as far as the zoom lens would allow and just started pan around a bit. And they're like, get it before we get caught. Get it before we get caught. This is the most stolen footage. And they just
Because nothing is level.
No.
No.
It's so out of focus, just shaky as shit. And they're just cutting it between this pimp apparently being crucified to a cross near the Hollywood Bowl.
Yeah.
Is what they're trying to imply. But obviously it's in some man's front yard.
Yeah.
Okay, because the cross that they crucify him to
Was concrete?
is, like concrete.
I want to say that it's not in some guy's front yard. I want to say they have crosses on between the Hollywood Bowl and the Hollywood sign, which they do pan to.
Yeah, people
there
put 'em
there
up
are
there.
crosses there.
Yeah.
Especially during Easter.
Do you think they actually used one of those? Oh my god. But this is amazing. So they walk away. Jolly and Mimi are walking away, right? And Jolly goes, "You a methodical son of a bitch." And Mimi goes, "He told me Jesus was black. Let him make a resurrection, eh?"
Yep.
Really gaining sympathy for those Sicilians,
Nope.
right?
Nope.
So we go at home. Mimi's with his Guma in bed, right? So he's with Liz, and she wants to get married, and Mimi's making a bunch of excuses. And now, Chris, that you tell me it's been 16 fucking years.
That's what I wrote down. I'm like, he's been staying with her for like 25 years. It's about time. She finally loves him.
It's like 25 years they've been together then. And he's like, you don't want... Come on, I get married, I gotta marry everybody. You know what I mean?
And then this is that same scene where she goes like, yeah, I stopped hooking. I'm like, wait, she was a hooker the entire time they've been together? But she wouldn't do the porn?
Yeah.
And Mimi's like, you've always been a hooker to me. Eh?
You might get a hook to the head, you know?
She's like, Mimi, I've been letting you put it on the tab for 25 years. That bill. And then so basically Liz tells him, she's like, look, Mimi, Chucky's setting you up to kill you. And he's like, wait, how do you know this?
Because was she fucking one of the other guys?
Yeah, it's just I'm like, oh, I found out because of so-and-so. Chucky's trying to kill you. And then the actress really tries to force some tears, but they just can't come.
That soul's dead.
They just kind of hug naked in bed. Then we go to the wheelchair kill. So we go back to the start of the movie, right? So we know now, oh, okay, so that's what it was.
Yeah, they replay the first 6 minutes of the movie.
Yeah. And so then we get voiceover from Mimi at this time, and he goes, I don't know who put a contract out, so we killed every last son of a bitch. Then we go to a meatpacking house. Another amazing scene.
Yeah.
So they kill one of the mob boss guys, and then... we just watch a man cut steaks for a bit.
And I was like, oh, please use this. I was hoping
Yeah,
that they
oh
were going
God,
to use
yeah.
this.
At first, I thought that was Chucky.
Oh.
Because he kind of looks at me and I'm like, wait, does Chucky have a day job as like a steak cutter?
Well, what's he
What
going to
the
do, lose 2 fingers?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
So they're showing this guy cutting meat, like basically doing his day job. And...
Yeah, for a while, by
For
the
a
way.
while.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, are they going to come in and kill this guy and then like shove his head through it? Or
Like, we watch him cut like 5 T-bones.
I felt like I interned for a week just watching this scene. I know how to do it now.
It's just like, like, what's that show? What's that show? How It's Made or
Yeah.
something?
Yeah.
So he's cutting. We get the next slab of meat. I'm like, okay, maybe the scene's gonna come to an end soon. No. So he
you
starts
see
using the new piece of meat and cutting that, and then finally he finishes that one, turns to it, and there's the fucking boss with a hook through his eye, and the eyeball is just dangling by his nose.
Oh, it was
Yeah.
great.
It's awesome.
And I was like, what a setup. They could have just
So
left
good.
him dead, but Mimi's like, no, put him on the hook.
That was a better hook scene than the one in Goodfellas.
And that was
it might be.
and the person that died was Zentelli, which was like the main.
You knew his name?
Yeah, they said it after that point. I didn't know who it was the entire movie.
Right.
But they said that
I
that
just
point
knew it as guy with fake gray in his hair.
because that was one of the
It
protagonists.
was like they told this guy to put silly string. Hey, no, just put some of that white
Right?
silly string in your hair,
I was like,
right?
what the fuck is that?
This
Whose
guy
hair looks like that?
This was the worst fake dye job I've ever seen.
That was like in Miami Connection, that 29-year-old Nelson Mandela at the end.
Jim, I'm your father.
I will do right where I've done wrong.
So then they start leaving the butcher shop, and
Yeah.
they're like, we're watching them leave the whole way.
Yeah.
And then this
like
car
he's like,
pulls
no,
up.
back it up. A little to the left, a little to the right.
Yeah, this car pulled up. I thought there was just like somebody was randomly parking, and no, it was a part of the scene.
Yeah, it's Chucky's son. He shows up and he's like, hey, Mimi, how are you doing? And then Mimi's like, hey, I'm about to go shove something up your old man's ass. Get in this van.
Yeah.
And then they kind of just kidnap him, and Jolly drives off. Then we go to Chucky's house, and Mimi and Jolly just drop the son off, and Chucky runs out of the house, and he's all upset. You don't even know he's dead at this point. You're just he just looks kind of scuffed up.
Yeah.
The father's reaction is what I'm like, oh, maybe he is dead.
Yeah, I wrote, I guess the son is dead. And then, because Chucky goes, he was such a good boy. And his friend goes, it's all right. And
It's
I go,
all right, Chucky. No, it's not. His son's dead.
that's
Yeah, he's
right.
kind of
He goes,
just left
no,
there. Yeah.
No, it's not. He's like, no, hey, Chucky, you can get a new son, you know?
They're fun to make.
Look, 16 years passed like nothing in this movie.
They'll just make another one.
And then now it's like Chucky's bringing back the old days, the old ways.
Yeah,
Right.
and he's like, we're going to go get Mimi, right?
Yeah, hired guns. I'm like, wait, didn't he already have hired guns after Mimi? That was what he was killing everybody for? Who cares?
Okay. One of the best scenes in this movie, they go to Jolly eating alone.
An empty restaurant.
And like the host comes up and he's like, hey, Mr. Jolly, you not having Mr. Mimi join you tonight? No, I'll be eating alone tonight.
He's got
Just a romantic music.
He's having some business problems he's got to take care of.
And these waiters come in, and they have like a big chafing dish. I guess he's gonna eat a whole fucking lasagna to himself.
I guess
or
so.
something. And like multiple cups of wine, and like Jolly's like, we watch him like kind of swirl each cup, like, I don't like the color of the vintage, you know. And then Chris,
So then these two waiters come up on each side, and they open up the chafing the dish lid, and there's the dog. We have sweet and sour dog, Kung Pao dog, waiting.
obviously like a stuffed animal, just with a little ketchup
Yeah.
sprayed on it. Or Duke snapped that dog's neck and was like, well, I bought it for the movie.
Yeah,
Rough sex with that dog.
Yeah, that's what it looked like when Jolly was talking.
that dog had sex here.
And he's all upset, and then they shoot him dead,
Yeah.
right? And then I love this, though, is that they leave the room, and the host just puts up a crudely drawn sign and, like,
section closed.
Section closed.
I love because if you look closely, the way they wrote it, they ran out of room. When they started writing the word section, the section closed.
The letters just progressively get
Yeah,
smaller.
they do. They get like more and more scrunched together.
And Duke's all upset. He's like, hey, it's only paper. Oh, fuck. So then we go to, I guess, Mimi's house,
It
right?
looked like he just walked into a random hotel room, didn't it?
Yeah, I don't know what
Yeah.
the fuck's going on. I guess they hand-delivered Jolly to Mimi's house in a bloody blanket.
I guess so.
Because he has him on the bed
Yeah.
and he's like cupping his face, right?
And this movie is moving like at a breakneck pace.
Yeah.
Like, they need to finish
Yeah,
this.
and it's almost like Mimi's looking at him like, should I fuck the body?
No, did you know? Okay, so he comes up and he unwraps. He sees his Jolly. He takes Jolly's dead arm and does the cross with his dead arm.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, he's petting the face a little too much. He's like, do you think the mouth opens? Or
He grabs the wrist, but we pull away before we see what he does with the wrist.
yeah.
It's got a little rigor in there. It's a little stiff now, and he can kind of make shapes.
Then, as usual with these groups, they have to check the bathrooms.
Yeah.
Because they have to see if they have to kill somebody.
Yeah.
And that's where he finds Liz.
Yeah, and she, I guess, was hung naked in the shower. By what? I don't know.
know.
She's just hung from the air.
And then they have that, like, he's reminiscing about the conversations that they just had 2 minutes previous.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm going to die because of you.
Right. Yeah.
So either they hung Liz or she pulled a Aaron Hernandez and just, said good night. Oh, don't feel bad for him. He fucking killed 3 people.
I'm not feeling bad. I'm just saying.
Fuck that guy.
I didn't say anything.
Hey, he played with Tom Brady. Just saying.
Mike, of all days, the days the Pats went to the White House. He has to rain on their parade.
Yeah. Fuck you, Hernandez, What a day to ruin Brady's parade. I don't know. I'm sorry, but all the sympathy I see, they're like, oh, we hardly knew. Fuck that guy. He fucking murdered 3
Right.
people. And they're like, what a tragedy. He hung himself. What did he have to prove? Like, well,
No, he was good at sports, damn it.
Yeah,
hey,
right.
come
He
on.
could-
He's a champion.
As Dave Chappelle, that motherfucker ran 11,000 yards.
He knew how to catch balls, Chris.
Yeah.
He knew how to catch balls. So then we go to the this scene.
I love
Might be
this
the
scene.
best scene I've ever seen in any movie, and also one of the most clueless scenes I've ever seen. A funeral for Chucky's son. Which,
Oh,
by
my
the way,
God.
so we open. We don't even know who the fuck this funeral's for.
No.
I was like, wait, is this Jolly's funeral? The Guma's funeral? Well, what? Hello? And then we learned it's Chucky's son. So every mob person's there, right? And all their wives and everybody. And all these people are crying. And for some reason, there's a ticking clock on the casket. Which I
pretty
don't
loud.
understand.
It's fucking
Yeah.
Also,
loud.
they look at it. There's a part where these guys look at the clock.
Yeah, they brought it up in the scene. They go, hey, what's this clock about? And they go, this is the designated time that Marco was killed. But I'm like, I think it's a bomb to kill everybody.
Wait a second. Who puts a fucking ticking clock on a casket? They're like, come on, we're on the clock here, all right? They said before 5 or we gotta pay extra, so get his ass in the ground.
Yeah.
Okay?
That's a reminder.
But nobody's worried about this ticking clock, which you're right, it sounds like a fucking bomb. It's like tick, 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 tick.
Yeah, I love that scene too.
So
Booming of thunder. It's the subtitle.
But this
Booming of thunder. Is
he
the
was just
subtitle.
showing us a screenshot of all the aftermath
this
of this.
tableau of death.
So what happens is Chucky and I guess is it Chucky's wife
Fanny.
Yeah.
They're like sitting in front of the casket and they're all crying, and then the clock is like tick 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 tick, getting faster, but nobody's suspicious unless Chucky's like, come on, we gotta go, it's like an egg time, like, we gotta go, get him on the ground.
Yeah.
And then boom, we see like stock footage explosion, right?
Yeah.
And then the shot you just showed, Hughes, of like bodies piled everywhere.
You know what should have
On top of each other.
Yeah. She should have had a one-liner when she saw it taken. Like, oh, you know, it's almost 3. We're gonna miss that senior special. If you know, boom.
And everybody, like the whole mob is dead. Everyone.
Mimi killed everybody.
Yeah.
He's like, it's fucking done. I win.
It's all about Mimi, you know? And so I wrote in my notes, why would they let a ticking clock be on a coffin? An obvious bomb clock.
Yeah.
No, it was to signify when Marco
Haven't they-
died somehow. I
mean-
don't know where that came from.
Have they never seen an episode of Looney Tunes? It's like, come on, Coyote. Don't you get it now? So we go to Sicily, right? So we're flying over Sicily, and there's voiceover of Mimi saying, I'm going home. I've accomplished, he's accomplished something.
It's been like 50 years.
Okay, is that what they say?
No, I have no idea what
50
year.
years.
He's
Okay, we go to a backyard party, and everyone is drinking and having a good time, and Mimi and his dad's assistant, Bones, walk in. And the Don's all happy to see them. He's like, oh, Mimi, what the fuck? I haven't seen you in, I don't know. We're not going to tell us how many years. And then they go to a meeting, right? And the Don asks him why he comes back. Oh, my God. Mimi goes on the most racist
Monologue
rant.
number 3.
Yeah, about, okay.
that scene also was he goes, it's been 4 years since his girlfriend was killed.
Okay, so it's been 4 years since his girl. What the fuck was he doing?
That it took him 4 years, but the funeral had to have been like right after Marco died. So what the fuck has he been doing for the other 3 3/4 years?
Making those pornos.
Maybe he took a boat.
Jolly's body started to decompose to the point where he couldn't fuck it anymore. The Don asks him why he comes back, right? And then Mimi goes on this super long rant about how there's no more organized crime in the States. And he blames it all on black people and politicians. I write, of course. It's the scapegoat for him. He's like, it has nothing to do with Sicilians causing crime. These damn black people stole our corners. They're the ones doing the crime. And
The same corners that his family stole.
yeah, they're blowing the fish now. And the politicians, they've done it all. And let me tell you something. There's all these young kids, these hippies with their weed smoking.
They're free love.
And he goes, you put a gun to their face, they laugh at you and call you Humphrey Bogart. And I write, are people supposed to agree with this in the audience? Like,
Everyone's crossing their arms and shaking their heads yes.
it's like he's looking at the camera with a big wink, like, am I right?
Yeah.
Am I right? And it's like, no.
The old ways were better.
And then the Don goes on some rant where I can't understand anything that he says. It's like some blurry rant where he just says something like, no, you're wrong.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It has something to do with like Mimi was begging for his dad to leave the mob.
I don't know.
Please leave.
Yeah,
And then he mumbled something about like, well, it's just that's what the family is.
So and then we just go to later, and Mimi's reunited with his son, Mimi Jr., Mimi Jr., Mimi the third. Okay,
Mimi.
Who's like 20 now or something. And I thought he was only gone for 4 years.
Well, I wasn't at all surprised if the Bones was actually the son, because for a second I thought that was what was going on.
But his son's like, I guess in his 20s now. No, he's
been to college.
No, he goes, I want to go to Harvard.
Harvard Law School. He's already been
okay,
to...
so he's done undergrad. He's like,
Yeah.
I want to go to Harvard. And Mimi's like, then you'll go. And it's like, well, Mimi, it's not, I know it's 1974, but it's still very difficult to get into Harvard.
No, you just pay.
And then we watch like things of Mimi and his son walking through the Italian countryside while they're both wearing white suits, or AKA a backyard in LA.
Yeah.
And then Duke croons again to us on the soundtrack.
Thank God.
Or Fred Flintstone. And then the son introduces Mimi to his girlfriend. They walk around for a while, and then they come home, and they come and join a party that's going on. And I write, is this still the same party from earlier? Like, did this all happen?
What's going on? Is this a graduation party, a Mimi's back party?
Yeah, us Italians, every Sunday.
Yeah.
Every Sunday's Easter, Chris.
Yeah. Oh.
So then bread is served.
Don wants Mimi to sit as his right hand. Or no, it goes the other way, right?
I don't know. All I know is bread is served.
Mimi is now going to be the leader, and Don wants to sit as his right hand, and that's when the bread is served.
Okay, so bread is served.
The bread comes out. Time for the son to cut it and give it to the father and grab his gift.
I like how he uses explaining
Yeah.
that. Keep going, use.
So he cuts the first piece and tosses it to the Don. The Don says, cut another piece for your father. Mimi Jr. cuts another slice. And then this fucking explosion goes. And I'm like, oh my God, what's going on?
A fucking quad-barreled shotgun, which I've never seen in my life.
People are going crazy at the
I
table.
know. Mimi Jr. Dick Cheney his father.
Yeah.
He just fucking buckshot at his ass.
Because there's like these 4 perfectly placed like marks on him. I'm like, that's too good to be true. Oh, quad barrel. Nice touch there, Mimi Jr.
In the bread.
Yeah, in the
Best
bread.
part, the gun was somehow baked into the bread.
Yeah.
But it was not, because they obviously just ripped a loaf of Italian bread and placed it lightly over a shotgun.
Yeah.
So I just write, why?
Because I don't understand. He was mad at the Junior for killing, so then he was mad at whatever Mimi Middle for killing, and then he goes, "Okay, Junior, you kill your dad now."
Yeah,
so
like,
then
what?
the whole Sicilian
But why did they have to kill
mob
Mimi?
continues. I don't know.
Because he was a loose cannon and he killed all the mobsters out there, and now he's got to pay for it.
And yeah, he had to pay.
He's
penance.
there's penance there. There's a code. And it's even said at the end of the movie. It's said at the end of the movie there's a code that's dictated before you're born. And you live by
and
the
it
code.
was about Italian sons, which is
Yeah.
how that whole thing started for
Yeah.
the baptism.
Yeah, and so
It
that's
was very bizarre to
that's
me.
that.
But
I like
a
the
nice
end.
twist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never saw it coming.
No, I loved it.
Like, this movie is full of surprises.
Yeah.
Definitely did not see that coming.
So then
Holy
we
shit.
get the title of Finney,
yeah.
and a song starts. The song that was never in the whole movie, but it's going to be the credit song. "Open Your Heart" by Jimmy Saunders and Sonny Schuyler.
Did you look this up?
No, it came up on my subtitles.
Yeah, you do get that good freeze frame of Mimi the third and the Don, and they just kind of look at each other like, did we do the right thing?
Yeah.
So recommendations?
Yes, unwavering.
Yes, please.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Be warned, it is very... Don't watch this. If you're going to watch this with friends, you must warn them about the level of racism as we would like, look, this is very bad, but it will be entertaining. Just pretend like the N-word's not said. I mean, it's certainly said more than a Quentin Tarantino movie,
Yes.
and they use it liberally.
This is also the second movie where they go like, "You're an N-word and you're not a black man," and I don't know where. We were in
that's
the realm of
apparently
the
a thing in the
70s.
early 70s
Yeah.
where they're like, no, you need to be a real man.
No, not a real man, just a real black man. I'm like,
It's like,
no,
what
just
the
be a
hell
man.
are they talking about?
Just be a man. Just be a person.
So definitely recommend, despite the horrible racism.
Rampant racism throughout it.
I mean, it gets to the point where it's casual.
Yeah.
At some points, we just throw the word. When the word Jap is the least racist term in the movie. But beyond the racism, definitely recommend.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a good one. You can get it on Amazon for $3.99. You can rent it in HD. Nice restoration of the print. Very good. I mean, the quality was excellent, the one we saw.
The Blu-ray is going to have a lot of special features, too. Documentary.
Yeah. I might have to pick up that Blu-ray. We will definitely be picking up a copy of Gone with the Pope.
Yeah.
And we're definitely going to check that out. I wonder how he's going to fit racism into capturing the Pope. Is he going to blame it on black people?
Well, there's maybe the Pope hood could be a Pope.
Pope hood?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh boy. Do you think it's that the new Pope's elected as a black man and Mimi gets all upset and so he can...
We had one thing. You
took it from... You took our crime. We had one thing. The holiest of holies.
The world leader.
Do you guys hear that sound?
Oh, God.
Well, if you've never listened to an episode of the show, you're crazy because this would be insane to listen to this episode first. But we always harken back to the first episode or 47th episode of this podcast. 1977's The Van, starring Stuart Goetz and Danny DeVito, about a ginger boy who gets a garish yellow van and tries to rape women inside of it. We always wonder how that movie fits inside every movie we watch. Man?
Yeah.
What do you think? How do Bobby and DeVito fit into...
There is a Dodge van in this film.
That's true.
It is seen briefly.
True.
And it has a line across it.
It does. So I think Bobby's van has been around. It has seen some shit, man.
Well, this is 1974. You're right.
Yes. So I'm thinking this van has made its rounds. It's seen a lot of blood. It's going to see a little bit more blood later in the late 70s.
Do you think at some point somebody's like, well, there's a bunch of shotgun bullet holes in this van. Maybe we can cut this part out, add a bubble window.
Add a bubble window.
We can paint the sides of it.
Yeah.
Paint it yellow. That'll hide the red blood stains all over it.
Well, the red blood stain is going to be covered by the red arrow coming out of the middle of it.
Add 4 mag wheels.
Yeah.
A little shag carpeting.
This van is basically like a laundered project of the mob. So yes, I think that is the straight arrow.
Yeah, that makes sense.
In this movie.
Hugh?
I would put them back on the boat. They were the set designers for the porn because of their last run-in with the Mexican drugs that they did for the last movie. They had a lot of experience with nice boats and lesbian scenes.
I think that in those 3.5 years before Mimi went back to Sicily, he decided to get back in the porn business. And he goes, I heard these two guys, this bookie I know, says this one guy's a real great porn director. And all of a sudden you hear, and Bobby shows up to the shoot. Him and DeVito. DeVito's dressed like an old-timey 1920s director with one of those big bullhorns.
The big flap hat.
Yeah. and he's got his chair and he sets it up.
Corduroy jacket, corduroy pants.
And he just goes, Bobby, bring out the broads.
Yeah.
And all these women file out of the straight arrow.
Yeah.
And Mimi's like, here we go. And then a porno film.
Is it also like an old-time 1920s camera with no sound? It's just like it's not even a talkie yet.
Well, yeah, they have cut scenes where they put the cue cards.
Yeah, the cue cards.
Okay. DeVito says to Mimi, he goes, all right, we're here. Here's my stud. Yeah. And he points to Bobby.
Well, the Italians, they love those red-headed fros.
And he goes, now bring out the broads, Mr. Mimi. And Mimi brings out all the super pimps. It's all 40 of them. And he looks up at him and he goes, well, which one should we do, director? And he goes, I think all today we're going to have quite the production. And then he goes, Bobby. And Bobby kind of dives into him like a waterbed, And he just starts going to town and everything. And then Mimi looks over at DeVito and he goes, where's the camera? You just see DeVito go, run! Bobby, that's a wrap! And they just grab a few of the girls with them. Thanks again for joining us on another episode of The Grindbin. Hughes, you have anything to plug?
Oh, I always plug the same thing. We have an Extra Life campaign running for Obsidian Entertainment, the video game company. You can find us at twitch.tv/Obsidian. We stream Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Come in, check it out.
It's for a good cause, by the way.
Yeah, cool.
Oh, yeah, it's for Extra Life. It's a charity where we play video games for donations, and all the donations will go to the local children's hospital here, which is Children's Hospital of Orange County.
Chalk.
Yes.
It's a very good cause. Thank you, Hughes. Man, you got any shows coming up? People, Binners could see you?
Oh, Libin. Well, we will be doing Punk Rock Bowling in New Jersey. You can look up when that's up because I don't have it in front of me right now.
Oh,
yeah.
Boy. You just recorded a whole movie about the mafia.
Yeah, right.
You might get a visit from old Mimi Jr. Hey, I didn't like how you were talking about Cecilia.
Yeah, I'm going to go to the green room and see a big baked bread waiting for me.
Yeah, Chris, if you see any breads, run. Or ticking clocks.
Yeah.
Like you just go on the stage, you're like, why is it? Is this ever...
There's an amp with a clock on it. It's so wired up.
It's not even hidden. It's just placed in the flowers, like in clear view.
I didn't know Orange made amps with clocks built into them. Analog.
If there's a guy in a weird hat who walks up and says, UP FedEx, and it's ticking.
Yeah.
Chris, don't just run.
I'm like, oh, my picks are here. That's nice.
My picks. And you're going to France
yeah,
sometime
we're
this
doing
summer?
Hellfest in.
Oh, it's gonna be hell.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Aptly named.
Yeah. So look up when that's going on, and whoever you are, you know who you are. I will be there. I know who you are. You know who I am.
Chris will be locking lips.
Yeah, locking lips with a baguette.
If you want to rate and review this show,
I don't know why you would at this point.
we'd really appreciate it. Also, if you do rate and review this show 5 stars on iTunes, Stitcher, or anything else that you can prove to us, you can pick a movie. Like this movie today, which was bought, because the Grindbin can be bought, by our good friend Sean Thompson.
Over at looserounds.com.
Yes, that's right. He's our sponsor for this show.
And he also has a podcast now, too.
Oh, yes, he does.
Yeah.
It will be released soon. He's recording a couple more right now. So I'm not sure he wants anybody to know about it yet, but he is recording a podcast.
Yeah.
And I would like to say thank you to our friend from Australia. David has... Lunch Wagon David.
Yeah.
He has donated a movie to our show that's a documentary about Ozploitation movies called Not Quite Hollywood that I can't wait to watch. It's a DVD he sent to me in the mail. He didn't send it from Australia, but it was delivered by Kangaroo, so that was nice. And I did open it with a knife.
It was a pain in the ass getting out of that pouch, I'll tell you.
I did get in a fight. David, is there anybody that actually boxes kangaroos in Australia? Is that just a thing we made up in America?
It's a sport. It's like, like cockfights and dog fights. We have kangaroo fights.
But David would like me to proclaim that it is Lunch Wagon Day at the end of every Grindbin episode. So we'll do it for at least one.
And yeah, we'll end every show with Happy Lunch Wagon Day and cut to credits. And if you would be so kind as to click the subscribe button in iTunes, and I guess there's one in Google Play, we'd be ever so grateful. You would never miss another bin. And happy Lunch Wagon Day, Bobby.
Rigatoni, mustacholi, or spaghetti. It's a dish like you're never gonna forget. When the waiter comes around, don't be bashful, just sit down for rigatoni, mustacholi, or spaghetti. Now if you're really looking for a treat, we got the dish that's awful hard to beat. No matter if you're poor or the elite, she's a really gonna knock you off your feet. Now if you really want to please your girl, you nunja have to take her for a whirl. You'll be surprised with her how you will rate when she smacks her lips
on the special plate. Rigatoni, mustacholi, or spaghetti. It's a dish you like, you're never gonna forget. When the waiter comes around, don't be bashful, just sit down for rigatoni, mustacholi, or spaghetti.
Hey, Bobby, I got the money.
Yeah, I made the cheese. But you're a hooker.
Get that goddamn thing out of your mouth.
This book ain't got no real poetry.
Hello, pizza man.